Fuck! 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 Ah, Jojo! Leave me alone, Jojo! Ooh, found me a wabbit. Oh, one shot, come on. Oh! I hate Gary's fat and dumb. Kinda, yeah, pretty much, totally, pretty much. Situation where somebody says something like offensive, no matter how, offensive it is, they're winning, number one, but number two, it's a waste of my show, it's a waste of my time, so it's easier just to have a laugh with it, have the crack. And I remember waking up that morning, man, checking my emails. I was in bed and I was bollocks, and I see an email and I was like, what is this? And I see the partnership and I leapt up out of bed, man. I don't cry, but man, I nearly cried that morning. I was like, holy shit.
Because, at the very start of your stream, you have, welcome to the Gara Show. You fucking Adam in the back. He's absolutely loving life. He loves being a boss, he loves it.
It's the Gara Show.
Ooh.
What else is crack? Welcome back to JakeMcBoss Podcast, episode number 19, featuring The Gara Show. If you guys want to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, link in the description to both of those. But I've heard you guys get straight into the podcast. Cheers for coming on. Appreciate it. I'm just going to get straight into it because I don't want to waste your time,
No, it's no problem, man. Listen, as I said, I literally said it like I have like 2 hours essentially to rock with you. So
perfect.
Floor is yours, man. To be honest, I was looking forward to this, man. I was watching a bit of your other podcast, man, and I like how deep you get with some shit, man. I really like that. So to be honest, this is a podcast. I'm hoping I get some questions like that. I'm hoping, man. Yeah,
well, I have some stuff prepared, but like I'm just gonna roll with it and see where it goes. I don't like to I don't like to script the podcast. I just like to get into it. Natural conversation. So
no, of course. I feel like with the natural side of it as well, kind of questions will spring to mind that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of it before.
Exactly.
So I like that.
How's the double PC coming? You got the new setup a few days ago?
Yeah, lad. Like I just don't have time, man. It looks beautiful, but it's sitting on the floor. Do you know what I mean? It looks great. Like I love the whole Arctic look, the whole white kind of case and all the stuff in it, but I just don't have time, man. And sometime next week I need to look into fixing it. But yeah, just for the streams, man, having everything smooth, the transitions. Like I loaded up Warzone yesterday and I tried to do my Stinger transition and the whole stream shot itself, man. I was like, stop frame. Like, you know what I mean? It was just, it was mad. So I need to get that set up ASAP.
You're going to use your CPU to encode the stream. So that's probably like an issue. I think, I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but you need to set this transitions with your GPU. I don't know if you have a GPU.
You mean NVENC? Oh no, it is on an NVENC. Yeah. No, it is. It is with this other PC as well. It's going to be like this. It's CPU intensive. Like I don't even have a good graphics card. It's like a 1070. So that'll be running like all the kind of codec and all that shit. And then my PC that I have now is going to be for gaming. So hopefully it'll run a lot smoother. Just as long as that takes care of transitions and all the video files, and then my PC runs the games, should be fine. You
can record the stream at the same time, or you're just gonna like stream and then take the stream from Twitch?
Yes, so some people do that, but I mean, to be fair, it really depends on the game. Like for example, I'm sure you're aware, like when you stream Fortnite, because of all the high frames, that the second you look around when you're building and shit, like the streams go naturally a bit like pixelated and stuff.
Yeah.
So it is a fair point. If I am recording a Fortnite video, it probably would be best to record the raw file essentially behind the stream. If I was doing any videos, like if I'm doing like duo streams with somebody or I'm doing an event or something, but I'm just rocking a normal day stream, it probably wouldn't be asked. I need hard drives upon hard drives, man. That shite. So
I was quite impressed. I was watching a stream the other day, and your camera doesn't like pixelate, and obviously it's a really good camera, but normally with streams and with Fortnite in general, you have like the it goes pixelated, it goes statically. Your stream doesn't do that at all, and I presume you're on a single PC stream.
Yeah. So man, I went through so many stages of optimization with what I have. Because as you said yourself, it's a single PC, so you're kind of limited with your resources. But I just fucked around with a lot of the settings for a while, and I even gave my settings to one of the boys, and they have it as well. But the biggest thing for not getting pixelation with streams is to just fucking like your bit rate has to be like way over. Like they all you have all these professionals on fucking YouTube be like, oh yeah, 6K is the max anyways. Shut the fuck up, man. It's a bit of bullshit. I have mine on like 8K. So what happens is that naturally it's so high that when it starts getting like all the processes start happening and when it starts pixelating, your quality is so high that the drop off is so little. Do you get me? Yeah. So if you're at a lower bit rate and you're on that, it's going to look terrible. But the higher you are, the less the drop off. You know what I mean? So you're still going to get that kind of HD camera effect. So yeah, just really high settings, man, on OBS.
I think partners get they get like more bit rate. I think if it is like 6K, it's capped at 6K. And partners get more?
Yeah. So I'm not sure about the exact bitrate scenario, but all I know is that obviously with partners, you always get a HD stream, whereas when you're an affiliate, you get HD if there's not too much clustering going on the server where they can actually give it out to affiliates.
I literally just stream it on my single PC. I barely stream at this stage, but I stream on the single PC. It's an absolute cockache to just the input delay and stuff, like, and to actually play the game properly, you know?
Yeah, no, single PC, man. I mean, it's tough. Like, and especially, you know, you add in like the likes of like a green screen, and you've other things open. Like I've Streamlabs chatbot, and I've all the other things open on my PC for music and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain, and it's why, like, I know I'm streaming like 3 years now, but yeah, I thought, like, if there's any time to do the whole streaming PC gig to up my game, it's now. With all the events running this year and shit as well, so I want to really keep going with that.
What events do you have planned? Actually, I'm curious. You're doing stuff with Genesis. I don't know if you want to talk about that in the podcast.
Yeah. So yeah. Me and Genesis have something planned in the future. We've yet to finalize stuff, but no, we've made an agreement, and we're going to rock that sometime this year. Apart from that, obviously I'm running a lot of stuff with the Legion Esports series, so we have some FIFA events planned, we have Fortnite events planned, and some other games as well. Apart from that, my own gear, I'm talking. We had a Discord's Got Talent show that I was planning on doing, and I think it could be absolutely serious. Like, I've seen some boys on YouTube doing it, and they kind of do it very, how would you say? They do it very, not amateur, but like they just hop in a Discord call. Like, and obviously, like, it is content, but I want to bring it up a notch. That's why the streaming PCs are going to come into it, because I want to have all the overlays, make it actually look like a TV show. That's exactly what I want. You know, the 3 judges, that whole job. So that's going to be later in the year as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Possibly want to return to Fortnite Gladiators. That was really, really fun with the pickaxe and all through that event, because it's such a different change from Fortnite being like being a different, just being a non-competitive format where you're talking about guns and builds, just about pickaxe and ads, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Maybe get some creators involved with that as well.
I'm actually curious, how did you get involved with the GamerStore guys?
So me and the owners have had a good relationship for a long time, through events in Ireland, like with Gamerfest and Insomnia. And, you know, I've helped out at these events, and, you know, I've even done like stage work, present the Fortnite, and I've been involved in some of the organization with the Fortnite events in Ireland. And basically through that and through the streaming, they contacted me and they were like, look, we've already worked with you. We know you can do the job. Could you do this online for us? And I was like, yeah, no bother. Obviously I have the experience. I've run my own like Phil's Fortnite Frenzy back in the day. I've run like 2 tournaments with that, plus some other mini ones in between. So they knew I was able to host these online events, and as I said, I was literally their go-to guy at the time. So that's really what happened.
I think you were the perfect choice for that position, because you're the way you deal with the idiots sticking into the stream and stuff. Like, you literally you ran that event on your own, and I'll be completely honest, you didn't get any help. Obviously, you have a decent relationship with Stuart and all the boys who worked there, to be fair. So I'm not gonna sit here and slander him for 20 minutes, but I think you could have gotten a lot more help with that event. Do you feel the same way?
So I mean, with the event, I said that I was going to take it on, and I was like, look, I'm going to set up the Discord, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But yeah, like, you know, I'd say a week into qualifiers and stuff, it was getting just so hectic, man. I had kids. It wasn't even just the Discord, because obviously in the Discord I have to respond to people when I can. I have to respond to DMs of people being like, yo, what's going on? How do you do this? I'm like, yeah, you have to go here, you have to do that. Obviously on stream as well, you're getting trolls, you're getting people complaining, you're getting this and that. The amount of times I had to stop into the Discord, actually stop lads fighting, like 2 little 12-year-olds talking shit to each other. Oh, I'm better than you. Like, nobody gives a shit, man. I was like, here, lads, shut the fuck up. The amount of times I had to break up fights in the Discord was insane. But just with the whole event, I don't think I put the blame on really anybody, because, you know, I kind of took it on my own. I feel like if we came to an agreement of possibly getting some staff involved, other people to kind of rock the Discord side of it, but we've already kind of came together after the event, and we talked about what we can do in the future better. And I have included that, obviously, that, you know, I think if other people took over the Discord and all that side of it, it would let me concentrate more on the gameplay and on what's going on actually on stream.
Do you feel like the format was the best it could have been for the event, or do you feel like it could have been improved in any way?
The format?
Yeah, the format and like the way the qualifiers were like over 2 weeks and stuff, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, the format for that event is one very similar to what I ran with my own Fortnite events, and it's to have as much open qualifiers as possible so that everybody has a chance to get in. Obviously, when you spread out like qualifiers like that, you're going to get, you know, naturally more people talking about the event, and it gives, you know, more chance for social media to get involved and to promote the event basically over the 2 weeks. Then obviously after that you get your semifinals and your finals. But with the point system and all, I think it was a fun style. One we haven't seen a lot of, obviously with DreamHack and all, you know, you have extra points for elims, but I wanted to replicate that in a way that, you know, it was going to focus on the players who actually go out and W key, because we see in a lot of events, man, lads like sit in a box until the end game and they get 5th place and they're like, oh yeah, goal me. But nobody cares about them. It's all about the lads who are pressing boxes, going and getting 8 elims and dying 26th or something. That's the guy you want in finals, not the guy who was sitting in a box. What
were the player base like response to the format stuff? Because obviously the DreamHack format is the preferred one for competitive, right?
Yeah,
but what was like... Sure. I didn't have a problem with the actual event. I thought it was ran perfectly, considering it's just you running it. But with the semi-finals, I feel like you could have added more wildcards in for a start. You could have gotten like people like, obviously Genesis qualified, but like, you know, from the very start, if you said, okay, we could have gotten maybe, you know, 5 content creators into the finals, because I think you said to start, we're going to get pro players in. So there was like spots there and stuff. I feel like you could have gotten more content creators into stream their POVs and stuff. And the I think was it the semi-finals or the finals where you had, was it 2 lobbies of 100, so 200 players, 100 and 100? I think if you did 50 players qualify from like a set, like 100 players Saturday, 100 players Sunday, both play, 50 from Saturday, 50 from Sunday, and then the final. Just my idea. What do you think of that? Yeah, so, I mean, that's not a bad format at all. The way we did it with the semifinals with 2 different lobbies, obviously, you know, there's a lot going on at the same time. So like you're saying yourself, running the event on your own, it's kind of hard to manage both lobbies at the same time. But yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad idea. I mean, equally enough, you know, you're still going to get the 100 places for final. So equally, you know, you're the way you're talking and the format I did both essentially do the same thing. But what you're saying about the content creators, originally we had the plans to get the pros into the event. None of the pros were responding. So I was like, okay, listen, we're going to fill these spots. Let's make it interesting. So then I did the whole clout competition on Twitter. And that's where I actually want the content creators to get involved, because it's not the players who have the audience, it's the content creators. So I was like, right, the top 5 comments here are gonna get into this event. So I was hoping the likes of, you know, JSM, the likes of, I think Genesis might have been true at that point. I'm not even sure. Yeah, he qualified I don't know actually how he qualified, to be fair. But he was
actually, it was a Twitter competition. Actually, I'll talk about that in a second as well, because it was so funny. But yeah, I try to do that cloud competition for the content creators to get involved. Obviously, you know, some lads from teams got involved, and I didn't actually think about that at all. That some lad from fucking Mickey Mouse, you know, TikTok team is going to be like, oh, lads, everyone like to post. And that did happen. I had 3 lads in there and didn't even know who the fuck they were. But yeah, no, to be fair, it probably would have been better to get some wildcards in, like some content creators for finals or something like that, to get points of view. You're dead right. At the time though, it was a trope, because I was reaching out to pros and I was waiting until as late as possible, because a lot of pros think they can walk into these events. Like I had 2 lads show up on the day being like, oh yeah, I think it was Castry was his name, and he comes up and then he comes into the chat with 2 of his boys, and all my chat's like, oh my god, it's Castry, and then he's like, yeah, so can I play today? And I'm like, I was like, man, who are you? And then his mate's like, yeah, that's the real Castry, don't you know? And I was like, man, I don't give a shit. I was like, get out of my chat, man. I don't care who you are. Like, I hate the fact that some of these lads show up last minute. Like, because obviously I run a tight ship. I run everything organized. And the boys show up last minute, taking a stroll in VIP access. Get out of my chat, man. You know what I mean? I don't have time for that.
I was actually there that day, and your man comes in, and I see his little goon friend comes in. He's like, that's the real Castry. You know him? Yeah. Just rinsing his arsehole like it's a fucking bidet, man. Yeah, I just. Have you ever had any like problems with pro players in the past? Because obviously did the Fortnite Frenzy 2019, like 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
You had a lot of boom in there. Did you have any other like top pro players like Save It, Paddy? Do you have any like issues with them or like?
No. I mean, across the board, well, at least with the other Fortnite event, like everybody was very respectful, which I did appreciate. Nobody was a dickhead. Like even talking to the likes, talking to the likes of Chapix and the DMs and Dretta and the boys, like they were actually very sound lads. I got not a bad word to say about them. A lot of the pros across the board are very respectful, and if they weren't, I would tell them the feck off. I'm not going to lie. So with this event in particular, I reached out to Paddy, reached out to Saban and the boys. Paddy got back to me, said he could play, but he said he could only play one day of the semifinals, and I was like, look, I'd rather give the spot to somebody else. I just like, even though he is a high tier player, I'd rather give somebody else a shot who's able to play the 2 days. Because more than likely Paddy's going to come in. If he has 1 or 2 bad games, he's out with her. Like I don't want that. I want somebody to actually have a chance. So apart from that, man, just none of the pros are responding. I didn't know what was going on, because with the frenzy, a lot of them were responding, but I don't know if they were preoccupied or they were busy, whatever. But you know, I also mentioned that for the next tournament as well, is that we have a team set up to actually contact these pro players and blah blah blah. So that I'm not working on that side of it as well, so I can start focusing on the event more, because I only had a small window of time to actually contact these players.
I feel like even just getting in contact with people for the podcast, I'm having a fucking nightmare with that. Like,
Yeah,
I can't even like I'm like Sabid follows me on Twitter, but even I think he follows you as well. But even trying to get in contact with him through Twitter DM is fucking
it's what I was trying for the event. Yeah, it's literally impossible, man. I tried to at him as well on Twitter and stuff to get him involved for the event, but yeah, obviously the boys are either they have someone else rocking their social media or they're just packed with messages. I don't know what the crack is. I can't relate anyways, but it's mad though. Yeah, it is mad to get in contact with them.
I had literally the only way I got in contact with Save was literally like I literally tweeted out at Save come on my podcast, let's go, let's do it. Got like 200 likes or something, and then he comes back and he did me love to come on, but I can't. He's probably going to go on to Arb's podcast. I don't know if you've seen his podcast Brand Risk. He's probably going to go on to that, and he's friends with Arb, so I understand that. Yeah, it's interesting the way the pro players like it, you know, the way they have like this kind of ego. I almost feel like as well that some of that is to do with the way the community is more so them, because I feel like the community in general is just like, you know, oh, look at these guys, you know, hyping up and stuff.
I feel like with Fortnite, man, it's such a crazy game, and there's so much hype behind it, and there's so much shit talking that when you have a player at the top like that, man, I mean, they're just looking down on everyone, you know what I mean? So I feel like, not calling out anybody for having an ego or anything like that, but I mean, like, you know, it's this type of game that players are going to have that. Like, I feel like if you're on FIFA or COD, you're not going to get players who are that much like, you know, in their own head, if that makes sense. But to be fair, as I said, you know, who I have dealt with in my events have been actually very sound in the DMs. But obviously there is a lot of that. Like, for one example, I said this during my event, and it's so funny. I love saying this story because it's hilarious. Let me think of his name, man. Is this player English fella?
Michael?
No. What is his name? It's gonna kill me. Forget his name for the moment. Maybe I don't name him just in case.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was doing a watch party for it was, I think it was FNCS. I think it was FNCS finals, right? It was solos anyway. And I was running it on stream. I had a fair few people in and we were having a laugh and stuff. And during one of the breaks, one of the guys, he was following me before for one of my frenzy events. He comes into my chat and says, "Hey, bro." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, man, what's the story? How's it going, lad? How are you getting on?" Because obviously he's playing the event. And you know, in Ireland, we always say, you know, how are you getting on? What's the story? You know what I mean? That's kind of like how you introduce people. And he's like, his first message in after "hey" was, "Hello, don't you realize I'm playing in this event?" And I'm like, I was like, "Man, get out of here." I was like, "Where are you coming at me with that attitude, bro? Yes, I know you're playing." It's like, we're all getting behind you, man, up until now. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, man." Literally ban. I like this man coming in with a straight ego. "Don't you realize I'm playing an event when I'm doing a watch party? What do you want? The red carpet? You absolute clown." So
no.
as you're saying, man, some lads come in with an ego. Like, just them being an event is enough for them to come in the chats being like, "Oh yeah, look at me." Like, fuck off, man. Just play the game, will you? You know what I mean? Stupid.
You have a great community as well that, like, if they see some sort of, like, I almost put it like this, like, if it's like in Newcastle or like, you know, in Limerick, it's working class, right? So you see this cunt come in, they're like, oh, you know, like Mr. Big Bollocks himself, and they come in, it's like the entire chat's like, who the fuck's this guy? Like, who's in our fucking pond, the fucking Satan man? Get gone. Like,
No, I feel like with my community, I love that they back me, because they know that I'm not going to take shit from some lad coming in thinking he's a dog's bollocks. So they'll kind of join in with the banter and they'll join in with that, which is actually very fun. And to be honest, like, every day I stream, I actually look forward to trolls and people like that come in, because it creates such a fun environment and it creates such just content for the stream, realistically, man. You know what I mean? Just taking the piss, having a laugh with some lad who thinks he's great. It's just a bit of crack, like, you know?
James actually had a question for the podcast. He asked me a while back. He said, "How do you deal with the stupid kids and the trolls?"
Yeah. I get this question a lot in my stream because people notice it. They're like, "Man, you deal with trolls so well." And because obviously, you know, on the daily you get trolls, and the bigger and bigger you get on Twitch and on any platform, the more trolls you're going to get. But I mean, to be honest, man, I had a shift of mind, like when shortly after I started, actually, I started streaming off my PlayStation to begin with, and you know, you had trolls coming in, and you know, you're telling them, "Oh, I piss off," whatever, blah blah blah, or you're banning them, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I was sick of getting annoyed at them, and I was like, it takes more time to get annoyed, and it'll ruin the stream. But if I just have a laugh with it and don't care, it makes it so much better. Because, you know, I feel like I'm very logical with my thinking, and I don't like time wasting at all. That's the biggest thing to me. I hate people that time waste. So, you know, if I'm wasting my own time by getting involved in a situation where somebody says something like offensive, no matter how, you know, offensive it is, you know, they're winning, number one, but number two, it's a waste of my show, it's a waste of my time. So it's easier just to have a laugh with it, have the crack, and just don't be crying about it.
I've never really had a problem with trolls, to be honest. I've always kind of like, just fuck off. I don't really care.
Yeah,
I don't like. I feel like people who get way too into their head about people who come in, like, troll and stuff and say shit about, you and your family and all that stuff. Like, I get it, but I don't really respond to the whatever. The biggest problem that I have is if people that or like people you're friends with come in and start chatting shit. That's when it starts to piss me off, because it's like, it's personal now, Like,
So would you mean like people like that, like IRL?
Yeah, like there's a guy called Acidic. He'll probably watch the podcast. Little fucking bitch. He comes in. He's like, no one cares. He'll reply to my tweet. No one cares. I'm like, okay, it's Warden. I'm gonna cut your dick off.
Yeah. No, I mean, like the thing is, even when I started on my streaming, I didn't tell anybody I was streaming, man. So because I was aware, like, in the Irish community, man, like obviously outside of streaming, that if you out yourself there as doing something creative or doing something like that, all your IRL mates are gonna slide the shit out of you, and they're gonna be on top of your arse about it. So I knew that from the get-go, and I was like, right, I'm just not going to tell anybody about my streaming. Barely any of my IRL show up to the stream, and if they do, they're fairly polite about it. But I feel like at the same time, going back to the whole trolling situation, like if I had a friend come into my stream like no one cares, I'd spend like 5 minutes roasting them. You know what I mean? In the chat, like just making, like putting them on a podium and making a show of them. So I feel like through the trolls that I've kind of dealt with, I've kind of appropriated myself for situations like that, even if it is IRLs or whoever. But at the same time, obviously, it is frustrating, especially if you know someone personal who's coming in having a go at you. It's like, man, go away, like.
What's this kind of like a loaded question? What's like the mental health aspect of, because you have a good, like a really good schedule, 3 till 12 on Saturday, Sunday, then 6 till 10 or whatever. So you stream a lot and you have a very good schedule going. What's that like? Do you ever get like pressured to stream, or do you get pressured to be like, okay, I might miss this or I might miss that or whatever? Do you ever get like that sort of mental? That kind of issue?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, man. Like obviously, mental health's a big thing with streaming, especially when you have a very, very, very active schedule. I mean, like I'm live every day, and not every day you're feeling it, man, realistically. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say I feel a pressure to stream. I feel like if I want to take a day off, like as I said, I'm my own boss, so I can. Obviously, it'll disappoint a few people, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm a very, very optimistic. I'm a very positive person in general. And if I ever have an off day like that where I'm feeling bad, I literally, man, I'll just go on YouTube, find the most hype ass song I can, have a can of Monster, have a can of whatever, like bit of gamer subs, whatever's on the table, and just vibe for 10 minutes and just get in the zone, think about positive things. And then ready to go for the stream. I just feel like that's a shift. Like some days I'm working all day, I'm editing or I'm fucking planning stuff, and it comes to like 5 o'clock for my stream, and I'm like, man, I'm not really bothered. But I don't know, man. I feel like music for me is my biggest how would you say, kind of healing process before my stream, where I can actually get back in the zone again and I'm hyped again and I'm kind of ready to go. But, the long streams on Saturday and Sunday are the killers for me. Like sometimes on Monday, I'm like, man, fucking hell, like I could use a day off.
It's, I don't know if you listen to DMX, but X gonna give it to you. That is the hype song, bro.
That's one of my songs, dude. That's literally it. I have that. I have, POD boom, it's like boom, here comes the boom. Have that as well. But yeah, DMX is my vibe. He's like my main hype guy. Obviously, R.I.P. Passed away recently, but no, he's always been one of my hype guys for songs for sure.
He was since I started streaming on Twitch. I switched to Twitch back in September for streaming. I don't really stream as much. The whole idea for me to stream on Twitch was to focus on YouTube more. And if I miss a podcast on a Friday, my entire week after is ruined. I remember that happened recently. A guy pulled out the podcast literally like 10 minutes before, and like, what the fuck?
Oh man,
that means war,
Yeah.
I had a thumbnail made. I had my guy doing the thumbnail and whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't make it." I was like, "Oh, nice, that's great." So my entire weekend was just ruined because like if I miss it, I'm very like pragmatic with the way that I upload videos. I'm like, okay, every single Friday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I upload a podcast. I get a highlight clip afterwards on a Sunday maybe. And then if I have then Monday or Wednesday, I'll upload another video. So if I miss one of those days, my entire weekend is completely fucked up.
You're either backtracked or you have to fit something in like with no kind of time in hand. No, I get you, man, and it's why it's like I was saying, one of my biggest like pet peeves is just time wasting. Like I feel like I'm a very punctual person and I'm on time. So yeah, if someone did that to me, man, I'd be fuming. I'm not gonna lie.
It's actually funny because I've never been a punctual person since I started doing this podcast back in like February, I think. I was never punctual. Like I was always late to stuff, but now I'm like, okay, if you're fucking with my time, you can fuck off.
Yeah,
like, that sort of thing.
I feel like when you get to that point in your life, man, where like you have a dead schedule for something and you have like a timeline of what you want to do and planning. Like the second somebody affects you over, like you said there, man, it affects your whole weekly schedule. So I feel like when you get to that point where you have something going like that, then you're gonna be more on time, and you're gonna understand how times work, and you don't want to waste other people's time nor your own.
I wanted to bring this up actually. You do like a majority of stuff yourself. Obviously, you got Little Marman doing your fucking the YouTube stuff and the editing and all
that. Big legend.
Yeah. Do people know that you do all the stuff yourself? You do all your graphics, your transitions, you do all the socials, all that stuff. Do people like understand that?
Well, I don't know if I'd say they understand that. I mean, I have the odd person coming in being like, "Oh, how did you do that transition?" I was like, just like made it in After Effects, like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I wouldn't put that on my stream as like a selling point, is that I kind of do everything myself. I mean, any fucking Tom, Dick, or Harry, you can look up a YouTube video on how to do this or that, man. Like nowadays, the internet is so easy for anybody to do anything, because you have all that information there. So I literally spent like maybe like an hour a night learning After Effects, like maybe sometime last year, and I got to a point where I was comfortable enough to kind of make stuff myself. And I'm a very, very picky person with what I want. It's why it was so tough for me to get an editor for so long, because I wanted somebody to mimic my kind of comedy style, and just across the board, I'm so specific with what I want. So with transitions and shit, man, like I could pay somebody a favor, but I know for a fact I'm going to be like nitpicking at little small things, and I'm just not arsed. I'd rather learn it myself and do it. But yeah, getting an editor was the first kind of thing for me where I was letting somebody else take the reins. It was tough, but you know, I was talking to Marman. He can mimic my style of editing very well. So, you know, now I'm looking at other things. Like I was talking to you in the DMs about, like, you know, possibly getting like a TikTok manager and possibly getting other managers and people to take over that other sides, because the more time I can spend on my content, obviously the better everything's going to look. So yeah, that's kind of my mindset at the moment. I'm kind of trying to shift towards getting other people to do stuff.
I've never actually quite understood. I'm going to come back to that in a second. That's an interesting point, but I never really understood, because majority of people who are Twitch partners will normally have YouTube content like on the go, like flying, like Monday, you know, a Monday video or a Friday video, or whatever the fuck. Like they'll have a video up like during the week, because that's like a good source of revenue, especially for a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
I was always curious why you never did that, because you do like a video maybe every couple of months, but you never really did it yourself, or you never uploaded like regularly, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
What I'm kind of confused by that situation, because I feel like you could have definitely, you've the personality to grow on YouTube a lot. Like you have a very like charismatic, like a Jacksepticeye personality. You can kind of grow on that avenue if you wanted to. I'm kind of curious why you focus more on streaming. Instead of taking maybe like a day or two off just to focus on YouTube content, get a video up like every 2 days or whatever, like something like that. Yeah,
no, you're dead right, man. I feel like when let's say in like the peak of like 2019 or 2020 or whatever, when I was doing Fortnite events, and obviously I was running out, I was doing a lot of content on stream, but I wasn't actually transferring that over to YouTube. I was in a weird mindset, man, I'm not gonna lie, where I was like, because obviously at that point I would have been editing the videos myself, but editing for me is such a long haul, and the way I say, like, I'm so specific, and I'm like, I pinpoint stuff, and I'm very, I don't know, like I overthink everything with the editing and stuff. So it took me so long to edit such a fucking small video that like I'm constantly rewatching it back. I'm constantly trying to add little things, and I don't know, like it took so much time out of my schedule. And it like during my, like when I used to try and make weekly videos before my stream at 6 p.m, I'd try editing, and man, it was just like, I don't know, like it put me down before the streams, if that made sense. Like,
not
I don't
enough
know,
hours of the day, really, you know? Not
yeah, that's what I feel. I didn't have time to refresh after editing to actually go into the streams, and I was like, man, I'd rather my stream just be 100% me positive than, you know, if I did a bit of editing every couple of days or whatever. It put me in a bad mood. I don't know. So, and I was also in a point of mind, or in a state of mind, where like I wanted to run some fun streams, but with those fun streams, I wanted to upload them to YouTube. And then like I found myself in some sort of a weird situation where I'm like, I didn't do the things that I wanted to do on stream because I knew I wouldn't have the time to edit them.
Yeah.
And it was just such a shitstorm in my head. I was like, what the hell am I doing? So it was only until I was like, right, this year I need to rock the YouTube, man. I need to get my head out of my arse. And look, if I just, you know, pay somebody else to do it and get them through the editing side of it, it'll help me make more content. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So it took me a long time to let the reins go. As I said, man, it was a mental battle with me. I was like, man, I want to do it my way, but you know, I need to make the content at the same time. So yeah, that's my mindset now.
I don't feel like I could ever let someone edit my videos though. It's just one of those things. Like it's
what I'm saying, man. It was so hard to let the reins go. Like it was tough.
Especially on my channel, because I did I've been editing my own videos for like 5 years, whatever, self-taught. I did get the iMovie on the Mac, Final Cut Pro. Now I'm learning Premiere Pro. I can't even get videos out to the quality I want, so I just don't upload them at the moment because I'm still learning Premiere Pro, trying to get used to it and stuff. But a big issue for me was the thumbnails, because I couldn't do thumbnails for love nor money. Like I just couldn't do them like properly. But now I have Josh, and he can do the podcast thumbnails, the Fortnite thumbnails.
Yeah.
And the quality of I found out recently the quality of content doesn't actually matter as much as long as you can get the good title, the good thumbnail, the good tags, all that stuff.
Honestly, yeah. Once you have somebody who's gonna get that click through for you and get onto your video, I mean that's the main thing, because then they're gonna get to see you straight away. I mean, like you think about like all the videos out there, man, that are unreal, but they don't have that title or they don't have that thumbnail, so nobody clicks on them. You know what I mean? So you're dead right with that, man. I feel like if you make it look good from the outside, no matter how good the inside of it is, you're gonna get people clicking on it. And yeah, you're dead right.
I'm absolutely fascinated because you're more of a streamer. I'm more of like a YouTuber, if that makes sense. Like do different platforms. It's so interesting having a chat having a chat with you about it. I'm doing a video at the moment where it's all about like the post production is like extremely important. I'm doing an organized video for like obviously joining the team or whatever. And the whole like the whole cinematic feed, like the whole cinematic thing to the video and stuff, like post production is really, really important. You did. I was talking to you on your stream one day, and you said you were doing a media degree in college, something like along those lines.
Actually, I didn't do a media degree. I have a degree in computer science.
Okay,
but
that's my bad.
What I did, no, that's a strategy, man. I'd say what we were probably talking about was, I did video work around Ireland for a couple, well, I'd say a year or two. And I was doing a lot of editing for different groups and different people, and it helped me learn editing and thumbnails and posters, and it was basically media, man. So it was the same thing that I was basically doing freelance media, essentially. That's what you want to call it. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
My question was, do you ever miss that sort of like behind the camera, recording a video, getting the camera set up, getting like, because you obviously do it with streaming, but like with videos, it's all about like, the editing, the precise like camera movements, like all the, the mic and all that shit. Do you ever miss that style from streaming?
To be honest, in a way I do, because I mean, like, to be honest, like it was hella fun, obviously setting up cameras and mics and getting creative with camera angles, like you're saying, like you're writing down what shots you want before you actually do them, and it's all about angles. But at the same time, the lifestyle was fucking mad. Like I was going around, we were getting like hotels around Ireland. We were like out in the nightclub, and we were getting like free drinks like backstage, and it was just fucking mad. It was mad. Like a year or two, we were just doing that. Like every month was class. But yeah, it was really fun lifestyle. I got to meet a lot of great people. But to be honest, do I miss it? I wouldn't say I really miss the exact, like recording and editing and filming. I'd say I miss kind of having that production quality for myself. I wish I could be in front of my own camera and me doing the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really am looking forward to a point where I can make videos like that for my own channel and just up it to another level. So I feel like that experience behind me was very, very good, and it kind of helped me to get to where I am now. But I'm looking forward to being at a point in the future where I can hopefully implement all those things to my actual YouTube content.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because that was the main point I wanted to get across there as a Twitch streamer versus a YouTube creator, because I absolutely, like, I don't care if I get money, I don't care whatever the fuck, but I love doing what I love doing. Like I love setting the camera, the mics, getting everything set up so it looks sexy, and I have Jack Igo in the DMs, and he's like, I would love to fuck you. I'm joking, but I have Jack Igo saying, great quality content, love it. I just absolutely love it, and I love creating content. I love making that stuff, and I need to get back into streaming. I need to get back into YouTube, so it's kind of interesting.
Man. It's the opposite. Yeah, we're on the opposite sides of it, man. We really are. But yeah, it's just like as I said, I feel like you're at a point now where you said you're getting people to do thumbnails, and you're getting help with your side of it. I'm getting help on my side of it as well. So I feel like kind of creates more time for scheduling to actually do your streams and I do my YouTube.
Yeah. How would you initially get into streaming before? You did the freelancing stuff. What was kind of like that time of your life like before you got into streaming?
Yeah, so it was, I was doing video work, and alongside doing video work, I was doing streaming on the side. So it was like a side bit of revenue whilst I'm getting my real revenue. And yeah, I mean, like it started off with the PlayStation stream, and I was doing video work, and then when I had my PC streaming set up, I didn't even get my PC for streaming. It was actually for video work, for editing. So, it was good to have that behind me with the camera as well. So it was kind of a natural progression for me to start PC streaming with actually a good high quality camera and stuff. And yeah, I was doing that, and I was still going traveling around Ireland. I was recording like MMA events and stuff like that. That was mad, and still doing gigs and stuff. And yeah, then it just got to a point where, it was at a point where like there was some weekend streams that I was really looking forward to, and I had shit planned. And at the same time, I had a gig that was going on, and I was like, I got to pick. I'm at a point where now it's actually like I'm generally wondering like which is going to be better for me. So at that point, I was like, look, I had to cut the video work, and I had to let the lads know that I wasn't going to be pursuing that anymore and pursuing the streaming. And it just became, I feel like the level of importance for each thing, like from video to streaming, it got to a point where streaming was just tipping over. And I was like, man, I can actually run this right now. I can actually run this. If I put my 100% into this, it's going to go up here. So made that jump.
That's so interesting you say that, because I see a lot of parallels with Genesis at the moment, where he's kind of like going from like being, obviously 'cause he's doing the same stuff, he's doing like the whole org stuff, and he's kind of like, I always said to him from the minute I started like talking to him like properly back in like December or January, I was like, okay, if you start streaming, you're gonna get a lot of fucking attention here, like. So
yeah,
it's so interesting seeing him like see his kind of aspirations go from like org to streaming, just like that sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's absolutely fucking mental.
It is, and I feel like with your experiences, through life, everybody has different experiences, but you'll find that shift, and you'll find what you're really passionate about. It's the same like when people come out of college and they pick a degree, or they pick something they want to do, and then like a year or two into the course, they realize that they want to do something else. They don't actually want to do that as much as they thought. So yeah, I feel like the more things you try in life, the better experience you're going to have, and the more you're going to know yourself and find out what you really want to do, which is what kind of came with the streaming.
Did you start by streaming FIFA? What was the initial game you started doing?
Yeah, so me and my IRL Murray Dubs, I went to college with him. We just used to hang out and play FIFA all the time. So we were like, right, let's just stream some FIFA, let's have some crack with it. And Fortnite was kind of on the up and up at that point. So we're like, might as well play Fortnite on the side, kind of mix up the content. And yeah, we started there. And next thing you know, man, there's just lads coming into the chat. And we actually had somewhat of a mini community. And I was like, geez, this is kind of crazy. Because, I was doing it casually when I started off. And yeah, it was getting real very quickly. And then, like I said, I kind of moved to the PC. And that's when I kind of made the whole overlay thing. And it looked more of a professional look, even though, shite. But yeah, just from there, man, I realized it was becoming a bigger thing than I initially expected to. And that's kind of why I kept it going.
What's Murray's support been like? Because obviously he's still around today. He's still watching the streams. Yeah, massive part of the community.
Yeah, he is. He's a big part of the community. I mean, from the get-go, he was there with me when I just started. He's there with me today. Like, he's always in the streams. He's there's a lot of Discord mon as well. And a big thing is he talks to a lot of the community. Like, we're in the VIP chat or the mod chat every now and then. And, he talks to a lot of people, and, I just feel like he's a staple in the community in a way. Like, I feel like if I'm not around, I know somebody could go to Murray and get like a real answer or get like a good response. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, he's very good to have in the community for sure.
Where did the name AbsoluteFilthTV come from?
It came from back in the FIFA days, man. I'm still good at FIFA. I'm not as good as I was though, because I haven't played it so long. Filthy, yeah. Honestly, that was it, man. You'd rainbow flick the center back, man, and you'd nuts the keeper, and you'd be like, man, that was absolute filth. That was absolute filth. And then I was like, that's such a funny name. I was like, why don't I take that? So I was like, absolute_filth was the name, because someone took absolute filth, some dirtbag, obviously.
Never liked him.
Some prick. Yeah, I never liked him anyway. But yeah, so then that happened, and then I was like, you know what? I want a proper absolute filth name. I don't want it to be _. That's kind of lame. So then TV came into it, and I was like, yeah, it's like entertainment, I suppose. I was like, fuck, we'll throw TV in there. And yeah, that's what we did, and I turned more into entertainment and the whole absolute filth scenario kind of grew itself as I was doing the streaming.
I'm trying to get a picture of like how you started streaming here. So in 2018, you were kind of doing like FIFA, and then you kind of branched into Fortnite. Is that right?
Yeah. That'd be about the timeline. Yeah.
So when did you start doing like the custom tournament stuff like that? That would have been like the end of 2018-19, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I'd say around early 2019 ish. Custom games were only brought out, and I think at the very, very beginning, it was only select creators, but then they released it to the public that if you could get an epic creator code, if you had over 1,000 followers, you can get customs. And, the second I seen it, I was like, man, this is such an amazing idea. I can play Fortnite with my community all day, every day. I was like, this is class. It's like involving everybody. So, yeah, I hopped on it straight away, got my creator code, started the customs. And at the time, we were one of the very few people running customs because, as I said, it was only select creators. And yeah, customs just became so popular so quickly. People were absolutely like hoarding for customs every single day. And I got to a point where I was like, look, why don't I make this interesting? Let's make a tournament. Let's actually, put some money on the line and see if we can get in here. And that's kind of where the whole tournament thing started as well, alongside the customs.
That's so interesting you say that, because I remember literally at the time I knew that other creators had gotten they got like the credit code to do the customs and stuff. And then when Epic Games were like, okay, we're gonna bring out credit codes for everybody to try and get involved in. It's like, okay, I can get one of these to do custom games. That was amazing. I remember like all my IRL friends like, oh my god, it's a credit code, let's play customs. Like, oh shit. Yeah. So I got all them. I actually started my like streaming because of customs. Like, okay, I'm gonna stream this shit. I'm gonna get like as many followers as I can from this. Yeah. Because the boys at Quinn, they're like, okay, customs code. Where's the code? Let me go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Like around that time. It's kind of sad that it kind of dipped off, but at the same time.
Yeah. It really did. And like you were saying, like people were mad for customs. Like coming in the chat, code was the first thing they typed in, and they were in the game. And obviously, it was good for getting followers, but at the same time, it gave people a chance to actually meet you and get to know you, which is what I used it for. At the same time, I realized how popular it was, and I was getting people in to just to find out who I am as a creator. But having a creator code back then, man, was like, it was pretty cool. Obviously, having everybody using your code and stuff, it was good.
You obviously we said about, like I said about a half an hour ago, about like how you deal with trolls and stuff. I think you going from like a person who plays the game to kind of like commentator, or kind of like just a just chatting streamer, but like you're playing the game at the same time. Sort of thing.
Pretty much.
I found I'll let you speak in a second, but I was trying to say I was doing customs around that time as well. I couldn't deal with the stream sniping at all. My mental health aspect of stream,
the stream sniping.
It actually got to me. Like I actually stopped streaming for like a few months. It was like, fuck, I couldn't do it. Like, there's a group of Welsh people that come in. They're like, oh, we're gonna stream snipe today. They'd follow you around the map. They kill him. Like, oh yeah, you're a good one, lads. Secretly behind the scene, like, oh, you dirty pricks. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm so angry.
No, man, I've been there. And to be honest, man, it's the same mindset as trolls, and I still use the mindset to this exact day, man. When people follow bot and shit, it's the exact same thing. It's like, right, the best way to deal with this is using psychology, man. You want to know how people are going to expect you to react, and then you need to react the exact opposite way. So from streaming, like if anything bad happens on my stream, like this is the biggest tip I can give to people is you got to work this, because it will stop trolls, and it does. So let's say a stream sniper comes in and they're like, right, we're gonna get 4 lads. We're gonna kill your man. We're gonna all hop in his box and dance, blah blah blah, whatever. And just like, all right, lads, GG's, man. And then you just quit the game and that's it. And they're like, hold on, he's not getting annoyed. Hold on, let's try this again. Let's try this one more time. And they're gonna go and do it again. I was like, oh, it's the same boys again. No way. Well done, lads. GG's. And you leave again. They're like, it's like, this lad's happy about getting stream snipe. Yeah, fuck it. We'll go to someone else. That's the exact thing. That's literally that situation. That's exactly how they react. That's how I react. Even though inside I'm like, man, these lads, let's see how many more games they're going to try this shit. But usually, man, it's like 1 or 2 chances. Same with follow bots, man. You either ignore it or you're like, oh, thanks for the follows, man. I'm going to sell that to sponsors and get money. Cheers, boys. You know what I mean? You got to react to it in a way that you got to turn it into a positive. If you don't turn it into a positive, it's a negative. They win. They get that reaction out of you. So across the board, man, that's the mindset I've used. And I've never had lads stream snipe more than 2 games, ever, after that mindset.
It's so you have to like think about it as well. Like, it's just so sad. Like, what the fuck are they doing to their lives?
Man. I mean, look, like especially during COVID as well, man. I mean, lads are sitting at home, fucking flicking their beans, doing nothing. So they're gonna want to do something else with their time. So I was like, all right, let's try to get a reaction with this young lad. So yeah,
flick their beans. I love that. So 2019 is obviously a massive year for you content wise, because you got partnered in 2019, wasn't it? The end of 2019.
It was end of 2019. Yeah.
Now, what was that entire year like? Going from like almost full time, you went from a full time, you went to full time streaming is what I meant to say. So what was that entire year like as a content creator growing on Twitch?
Yeah, that was a crazy year, man. I mean, like before even going full time is actually a fun story. What's that fun? It's kind of mad story, but I was at a point where since I quit the video work and I was doing the content creation, I needed another source of income, because I was like, right, I need to get more money in here realistically. So I was on job seekers for a while, and then they hooked me up with a job actually nearby to where I live. And I was like, okay, it's nearby. I can get a bus there. Let's see what it's about. And it was a drill bit packing company, right? It's weird, right? So what they literally got me to do was, man, is they got me to pick these drill bits out, pop them in a plastic box, and manually put the sticker on them. This is a job either a monkey or a robot can do. And I'm doing it. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm doing the job, and I'm like, okay, I'm a bit weirded out. Like, why don't they just like get a robot to do this? And they don't need to pay like 8 lads like minimum wage. I was like, well, anyways, we're gonna keep doing it. So I spent the first 3 hours doing that. It was my first day on the job, anyways. So I was like, right, we'll give it a chance. And I remember going into the staff room for lunch. It was at 1 o'clock or something. And I was like, oh, hey everybody, what's up? And everybody was just like, oh yeah, whatever. And I was like, okay, it's a bit quiet in here. Like, there's not really much personality floating around. And it was just silence for like a minute straight. And we're all sitting down, and then somebody's like, oh, bin's full. Someone needs to take that out. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucking out of here. I'm out of here, man. I was like, I cannot deal with this. Like, if I end up like these people, man, like, that's just sad. So like these people aren't living their dreams. They're not doing what they want to do. I'm like, I'm not going to be packing drill bits on my life, man, and talking about bins. I was like, that's not going to happen to me. So I literally, end of the day, handed him a key. I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back here. Sorry, I'm gone. So I was like, that really gave me the drive to go full-time with content creation. I was like, you know what? I'm going to pursue my dream. I'm not going to be fucking packing drill bits my whole life. Fuck that shit. So that was a big moment for me. And then obviously with the whole partnership towards the end of the year, that was a mental battle, man. Like, every day knowing that your numbers matter is the most, like, just every move you make on stream, man. It's like a game of chess. You know what I mean?
Was there like a sense of relief when you actually got there, though? At the end, it was like, you know, fuck man, those cunts packing drill bits. Fuck them, pricks. The bin's still full. The bin's still full. Fuck you.
Pretty much. Like, I remember, like, I was waiting like two and a half, like 3 maybe months on trying to get partner, man. Keeping over 70 average viewers was absolute like crazy. And I remember waking up that morning, man, checking my emails. I was in bed and I was bollocks. Look at my phone. And I see an email and I was like, what is this? And I see the partnership and I leapt up out of bed, man. I don't cry, but man, I nearly cried that morning. I was like, holy shit. Like, it was just insane, because not even from, obviously you getting partnered is great and all, you get the badge, you know, you get a bit of a priority with Twitch, but just for me, knowing that, you know, I didn't have the stress of having to focus on average viewers so specifically for a long time again was just amazing, man. So the second after that, after partnership, I literally was like, right, I now I can do what I want for a while and just take a break. And a lot of partner streamers do that. You'll find that when they get partnership, they'll actually branch off to something else for a small period of time and then come back. But yeah, it was a mental year, man. So much happened that year, dude. It was crazy.
Actually, funny you said that, because Irish Achilles did something similar to that. He got partnered and he took a massive break from streaming for like a good bit. I'm not sure like the exact dates, or like if he got partnered and took a break or got partnered. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not exactly sure. I think he's coming to the podcast next month, whatever. So we'll talk about that.
Oh, but, nice. Yeah.
I'm trying to get into your like mindset here. What was that entire like situation like? You get partner, big fuck off to the guys doing the drill bits, big cunts, fuck off. See. What was like, okay, do we push on? Do we keep going? Do we sit in our laurels? Do we sit here with just, you know, because at the time we're getting like 120 viewers average, like around that. Was it like, okay, we just sit here, do we stagnate, we do 400 customs, or do we try and push on and try and do something different? How are we going to like progress the channel a bit, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, when I got partnered, I still kept with the customs for a while, and you know, it was a bit of crack, but I wasn't pressured as much to kind of, how would you say, like run the exact same like thing every day. We're all straight into custom straight away. Like I was starting to chat to people. Like I feel like at that point I was nearly integrating or just chatting than Fortnite, because at that time with getting partnership, you know, the lads don't care about fucking talking, they care about Fortnite. So I was like straight into custom straight when we started the stream. We need those viewers up straight away, and just not having that focus anymore was just like so nice. And I think I can't even remember what game I did, but I remember shortly after getting partnered, I think we might have went back to FIFA even for a small bit or something like that. And it was just really nice, man. Yeah, just the break off from that pressure was the main thing, man. It didn't matter what I was doing at that point. Just the pressure being lifted off my shoulders was just, it was enough.
I think it was the new FIFA at the time you played. Actually, did like you did career mode, or maybe it was like pro clubs.
Yeah, it could have been actually. It would have been around that time. I think it was around maybe September-ish. So yeah, you're probably right, man. I think it could have been pro clubs that I moved to for a while. Yeah, just a nice break from the whole Fortnite content.
This is kind of a weird question. Where did you meet Alan along this weird journey?
Oh, Alan. Yeah. I mean, Alan was there for, I think, just under 2,000 followers. So he was there fairly early on. So I would have met him, I'd say maybe March or April, May, even 2018, very early on into the streaming thing. Just came in to meet, chat, was a nice guy, had a bit of a laugh with him. And yeah, I mean, we just clicked. It was very quick. You know what I mean? He's a very fun guy to be around, and he's obviously very loud and outspoken. So I found that very very fun to talk to. And yeah, no, I mean, like we met up at events and we hung out a lot, and obviously, we have a good relationship, like in regards to, I might get him in my stream sometime, or I'll hop on his and blah blah blah. So no, we have a very good friendship through streaming.
You have a very good relationship. You also have a very similar stream style as well, because the green screen, green screen, say like similar camera, I think, as well. So you guys have like a very similar stream as well.
Yeah, for a lot of the like Twitch streaming stuff, like I had that background in video editing, as I said, and kind of with the whole overlays and stuff like that. And Alan used to always come to me, he still does to this day. I mean, as I said, like we have a good relationship where he'll ask me, here, listen, what's the best thing for this? What's best for that? So I've given him a lot of advice, and I feel like guidance in a way in regards to into kind of how the stream should look, and what works and what doesn't. And he's kind of taken that a lot on board, and I feel like he'll take some inspiration away to the stuff that I do, because if he ever has a question like about anything, I'll always be his go-to guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like we'll naturally have some sort of a similar-esque look.
I feel like he's the type of guy as well. You can kind of go to, and you can ask him for advice, but he'll also tell you exactly, like he'll tell you straight. He won't bullshit you. He's not a yes man,
No, he's not a yes man. No. It's what I like about him. As I said, he's very, very outspoken and opinionated, and it's kind of a very, very fun character to talk to. Realistically, it's why it makes the Among Us sessions as well that we do so funny, man. Because he's always chatting, he's always talking shite, and it makes it fun,
When he rage quits off Among Us, it is probably the funniest thing ever.
It's so good.
He rage quit one night, and then I went into his stream, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool microphone." I was like, so I put in the extra point mic, and he chants like, "You fucking stream snipers!" What a guy!
Yeah, he's a funny man.
What streamers inspired you at the very start to kind of get into it?
So to start off,
our content creators, anybody.
Yeah. I feel like Ninja was my guy. Ninja was definitely my guy, man, because for me, he was just a perfect mixture of like comedy, entertainment, but he also was a decent player. And I was like, man, like that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy. Obviously, now he's on a bit of a different path, we'll say. But back then, man, he was just so energetic. Like you'd swear he was on something. You know what I mean? He was just always off his seat. He was always doing mad shit, and it was so fun to watch. I was like, man, I want to be that entertaining. I want to be that guy. And through watching Ninja and through seeing his journey and stuff, it kind of pushed me to do more. And the more and more as well, I got into, as I said, like, upgrading the production of my channel with the PC and blah, blah, blah. I discovered Dr. Disrespect. And I was like, man, this guy is just, this is it. This guy's like the package. This is like, he has everything. He literally has comedy. He's fun. He has the production. He has the gameplay. It's like, this guy is literally like the best of the best. So I'd say my biggest inspiration from that point on was definitely Dr. Disrespect, man. He's literally everything. He's so good.
That's actually crazy, because I see that now. Like I see the type of content, like it's very similar to Dr. Disrespect, actually, like in a lot of ways. The green screen, all the effects and stuff. Even the start of your stream, actually, a lot of people will point it out. Like the start of your stream is fucking class. You have I
appreciate that, man.
Is it the rewind, or is it different? It might be different.
Yeah,
actually.
No, it is. So basically, I have a little timer with a bit of music to get a bit of hype going, and then I have the rewind, and then the rewind cuts into the stream.
Whenever Genesis does something right, he's like, okay, I want to clip that. That's gonna be my fucking rewind. He says that all the time. Funny guy. I want to talk about the big switch to the TheGaraShow, because that's fairly fucking big. Like that's big bollocks.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. The main one, obviously, is for people who don't know, what's the main reason you switched to the TheGaraShow from Absolute Filth?
Yeah. So obviously, I went full time streaming about a year or two ago, and I wanted to take it seriously, but I came to a point where I was like, I feel like opportunities are passing me by because of my name, because I was in contact with different sponsors over the period of time that I was streaming, and even organizers and blah blah blah, and my name was somewhat of a barrier. And I looked at other streamers and how well they were doing, and I found across the board that not necessarily the family friendly streamers, but the streamers at more of a kind of open format that you can kind of hop into and not be like, what the fuck is this? Is a lot more approachable. And I feel like I could have been losing out on that. So I was like, right, you know what? I got to take this as professionally as I can. I got to switch my name. So that's when we changed it to TheGaraShow.
I had reservation at the start. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you. I thought Absolute Filth was probably it was I love the name, like, 'cause I knew it, it originated from FIFA. I was like, yeah, fucking filthy, you filthy cunt.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I found it strange, TheGaraShow, because TheGaraShow, like, why don't you call yourself Gara? 'Cause a lot of people just call you Gara now, which is fine.
Yeah,
but why TheGaraShow?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So as I said, for about me and Streamer Elite, we have a very good relationship. So I brought him into a call and I was like, look, I'm changing my name. Do you want to brainstorm some shit with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we sat in a call and we are going through names, and he had a few written down because I told him like a couple of days beforehand. I was like, man, think of names, will you? So we can hop in this call and do this. And yeah, I was like, initially, I was like, look, I think Gara would just be great. I want the name Gara. And I was like, I think it's obviously it's my second name. So I was like, I want that. And I was all set up for that. And then I emailed Twitch and they were like, yeah, you can't have the name Gara. And I was like, fuck you mean I can't have the name Gara? And they were like, yeah, we can't tell you why. And I was like, what? So I reached out to my partner at Rep and I was like, here, listen, sort this out, will you? What's going on here? He was like, yeah, some names are banned off the platform or blah, blah, blah. So you actually can't take them. And I was like, so if someone's banned with a name, I can't have it. I was like, that's fucking bollocks, man. So I was like, right. We hopped in the call with Alan then after that point, and I was like, yeah, we can't have Gara, man. We need something else. So we're going through different names, and we had a few different iterations. I can't remember what some of them were. It was like Gara TV and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then Alan said TheGaraShow. And I was like, that's shite, man. That's shit. Get out of my face. We're not doing that, man. And then we were near the end of the conversation. I was like, wait, what was that one earlier? It was like TheGaraShow. And I was thinking about it. I was like, right, when I think about that name, I'm like, it sounds stupid. It sounds funny, stupid. And I was like, it sounds like it's like stereotypically, I don't really know how to describe it, but the fact that the show was in the name, you knew it was going to be somewhat of entertainment as well. And I was like, you know what? The name Gara originally, it's just Gara. You don't know what it is. But when you hear TheGaraShow, I feel like it sounds like it's going to be entertaining. It sounds like it's going to be a bit of crack. And I was like, you know what? I actually prefer that name. I want to go with that because I wanted, like I said originally, some name that was neutral that you go into and you're like, all right, what's this? Instead of, Absolute Filth. Like, what the hell am I clicking on here? You know what I mean? I feel like it was a positive mindset when you click on the name or see the name, than a negative mindset being like, what the fuck is this name? You know what I mean? So that for me was the big change. When I seen TheGaraShow, I was like, that's a great name. We're going to run with that.
Absolute Filth. What am I clicking on?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I said it in my video, man. Like, the one of the big things as well, man, was that, like, I'd have had a lot of young lads on my stream subscribing and they'd be using their mom's credit card. And their mom sees a €5 subscription to Absolute Filth and they're like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, do we need to have this chat already? Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, here, listen, lads, for your own sake, it's probably better off we change my name,
My father started acting out his credit card. He's like, one son, you get a good thing. That actually clears it up for me because I didn't know that. Obviously, I watched the video, but that was fucking ages ago. That was like 6 months ago, something like that. I don't know.
Something exactly. Like that. Yeah, ish, yeah.
Yeah, TheGaraShow. I almost feel like the stream called TheGaraShow, it kind of represents you a lot as well. Because, at the very start of your stream, you have, welcome to TheGaraShow. You fucking Alan in the back. He's absolutely loving life. He loves being a boss, he loves it.
No, exactly. I feel like the show name suits it well. And like you said, I feel like it describes me the best with the name show, and that, I feel like you know somewhat what you're walking into when you click onto it, but it's all about the crack. And I just like that whole entertaining side, like, name. I think that's a very, very positive thing to have.
Yeah, that's your style. You like that kind of TV style. Does that ever kind of like? Because a lot of Twitch is like, they press the go live button. They're on, fantastic. Just hit them in their face cam. Do you ever kind of miss that where you're just like, okay, I just want to go live?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you have so much setup involved for your streams, it takes a while for that setup. But to be honest with you, man, the stream deck is literally the best thing in the world because I don't got to do jack shit anymore. I designed something in After Effects, man. I throw it into the stream deck. Like, my go live is like, bam, I hit that button. It says we are live in the chat. It mutes my microphone. It goes into the starting soon thing. And then it cuts into my just chatting. So I literally press nothing. I'm sitting there for 10 minutes. I'm rocking social media or whatever before I go live, talking to chat, asking how they are. And it's simple as that, man. So to be honest, it's essentially me going live. See, you have the stream deck there, yeah? It's essentially me going live the same kind of way, but it just, the stream deck does all the heavy lifting, man, to be honest, man. As long as I design the stuff, put it in there, we're good to go.
I've so many people who come to me and they're like, Jake, how do I start a podcast? I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not the person to ask, but cheers for asking me. But I always say the first thing, good mic, then a stream deck. Stream deck it's just
it's godlike, man.
It's so important. Good. I literally, because what I do with the podcast, I have, you know, obviously I've fucking Zoom on this screen in front of me, and then I have OBS here. So I literally have two scenes, this one and then my one. So without the stream deck, it's just like I'd be clicking fucking mouse buttons, whatever. Like,
exactly. It's what's it like. Hotkeys are the biggest thing, man. And you know yourself, you know, when you need to mute mics or do whatever, it's a pain in the dick. But having the stream deck there is just, it's literally, it's amazing, man. It's I think it's every content creator's best for me is a stream deck. Honestly, it's so good.
What was that period like between going from Absolute Filth to the TheGaraShow? Because you took a little break, didn't you, for 3 weeks? I want to say 3 weeks.
Yeah, so in December of, it would have been, December 2020, I took break because I was designing everything, because I wanted to completely revamp my stream. And I was just seeing what works, what doesn't work. You know, I had loads of different things in my head that I wanted to do. Like, for example, for sit-ups and stuff, I wanted a full green screen floor. So I was looking into like getting like these fucking foldable mats that are green screen and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, like the way Dr. Disrespect, he has like a big house. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do something like that where I have like different rooms and shit. And I was going through so many different mindsets of what I wanted to do. So I needed those weeks off to actually prep the stream. But yeah, we got there at the end of December. It was all ready to go. But to be honest, it was a bit scary at the start. Obviously, you know, I had built up that name for 2 years. I got partnered with that name, which is the big thing. So I built up a name with Absolute Filth. But the changeover was fairly smooth. Everybody reacted very well to it. Very, very few negative reactions to it at all. And it has opened up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities ever since switching the name. So it was definitely the best move by far. Definitely.
What was it like going through that? Because you're okay. Obviously, with, you know, you said it a minute ago about average viewers. That's only one part of Twitch. You know, you have the sub count. When you were going through that and like that break, I think you saw a good drop off in subs, didn't you, around that time? Something along those lines, maybe. Yeah. So, what was that like coming back and you see like all the subs are gone down, the numbers are gone down? What was it like getting back into it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I seen it as a challenge in a fun way. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I took a break for a month, so a lot of people aren't going to be there to sub anyway. So naturally, numbers are going to go down. Obviously, with interest as well. I mean, it's going to go down even further. But yeah, I was just like, okay, look, we're back at a low sub count again. Let's keep pushing. Let's see where we can go with this. And yeah, it was just fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see it as a negative thing. I seen it more as a challenge to kind of help me push further. You know, like when I went streaming full time, man, or before I went streaming full time, like I was on the dole, I was on Job Seekers, and when I made that push to go full time after I quit that job, I stopped taking the dole as well, because I was like, I want to have monetary value from my stream needs to be my goal, because I want to do it full time. So if I have like an easy 100 quid every week, man, on the side, like that puts me in a safety zone. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I need to keep pushing myself. So I wanted to rule out any other source of revenue bar streaming, so that everything's being focused directly into it. So naturally, you know, when I had that low sub count, it was another challenge for me. It was like, it was another push for me to push it further. So it was good.
I was talking to someone off stream. I don't know if you know Bisto. Probably don't know this stuff. Okay. I was talking to him off stream and I was like, okay, I'm getting Gar in the podcast. Any question, you know, just random. And he was like, do Twitch partners get paid more than affiliates? And how does that breakdown work?
So every partnered streamer, well, not every, but I would say the top percentile of like Twitch streamers would have their own specific deal with Twitch. So let's say if they're getting like, I don't know, maybe like 5,000, 10,000 subs a month, they can, you know, swap the scale more. So instead of like half or whatever, they're getting like 3, Twitch is getting 2, or they're getting 4, Twitch is getting 1. But with partnership, to be honest, man, it's a very small increase. I'm not sure the exact of what it is. I think it could be like something from like, you know, you get like €2.20 or €2 an affiliate up to like 250 to 260 as a partner, something like that. I'm not sure the exact numbers, to be honest with you, man. Because like I kind of, every partner gets the same deal. You know what I mean? No, you don't get exclusive deals depending on who you are. So for me, it's just like pushing to a point where I'm on that sub count where I can actually give a shit about, you know, how much percentage I'm getting, because right now I can't affect it. So there's no really point thinking about it, if that makes sense. So it's not that much of an increase at all, to be honest.
The funniest part about Twitch people, the people who watch Twitch, is like, okay, this guy has 500 subs, 500 by 5, 2,500.
Yeah. It's easy, dude. I wish, bro. If that was how it was, man, I'd be laughing right now, man. It'd be great. But no, obviously Twitch takes a fair bit out of that, and then you have tax as well. So you know, it's it's not exactly as it seems on the surface. We'll say that.
And I think Americans actually get more money from Twitch subs and stuff than EU and pounds and stuff. I think Genesis was saying something like that. You get like €185 as an affiliate for a sub apparently, or something like that. Like it's because of taxes and all that shit, like and conversions.
Yeah. Like I'll be surprised, man. Like obviously when you fill out the form for Twitch, they ask are you American or not, and the American form is fucking pages long. And the when you're a non-US citizen, it's like fucking one page. You know what I mean? So naturally, I'd imagine, and I'm pretty sure they add a 30% outgoing tax or some shit on whatever you make. So that's there anyways. So yeah, I know. Yeah. It would be nice if that wasn't there, but I mean, look, it is how it is. You know, I can't really do anything about it at the moment. So,
you ever get like offers from like, you know, because obviously Loot Boy are doing like casting for their Fortnite team. Jack Guy was involved in that. Do you ever get him like invited to do casting for like these, you know, like a team or whatever, like on Twitch?
I think a couple of times I might have been, man. Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I feel like with this Legion Esports series and you know, changing my name to TheGaraShow, I feel like I'm only starting the whole kind of casting thing, if even. So I feel like in the future more opportunities will open up, and you know, I have been asked to do 1 or 2 events since changing my name and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to get involved with that area for sure. But I've been approached by a hell of a lot of people, not going to lie, about the whole casting thing. But I definitely want to get involved in it more for sure. Would
you go on to someone else's Twitch channel and do it on there? Would you? Obviously, if you're getting paid, you would. Like, not, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah. So it's a good question. I feel like I'd have to weigh it up. Like, there's a lot of different things. Like, only recently I was asked to cast a Rocket League thing, and you know, they were asking to host it on their channel and stuff, and I was like, you know, it depends on the day, you know what I mean? Because if it's a weekend, obviously, you know, that's a big day for me, where you know, comparison to a weekday, and you know, you've other factors as well. So yeah, no, I suppose like like as I say, if the price is right, man, we'll see what the crack is. But apart from that, you know, it's really up for negotiations.
Esports seems to be very naive as well at the same time, because if they're like, okay, they think in their head, okay, there's this GaraShow guy, you know, he's good at the casting, we'll get him in. They'll approach you and they're like, okay, we want you 7:30 for a hype night on fucking, you know, Sunday. Yeah. And like, okay, well, you have to weigh that up, that you're probably gonna lose revenue from subs or whatever like that during that time period as well. So you think incorporate that in. Like, oh, this cunt, he won't do it for $250 this cunt. You know, like
yeah, no, I feel like I mean, it's the same with teams, man, to be honest with you. Like, you know, like when some teams are like, yeah, we'll give you $50 a month or blah 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 or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, man, get out of me fucking hair, like, you know what I mean? Like I understand, you know, people, you know, don't have a lot to give, but at the same time, business is business, and you know, if you're looking for a professional service, you're going to pay a professional price realistically, you know what I mean? It's not any Tom, Dick and Harry. So yeah, I feel like there is a lot of that involved with it, so people don't really think about the revenue you're going to get on your side of it as well for spending a day doing their content.
You're in Settle, I want to say 2020 or 2019, around that time. I can't remember.
I think it was early 2020. I think it was January 2020 up until maybe like March or April 2020, something like that.
And Amin was over Settle at the time, right?
He was indeed, yeah.
What was that like, going from an independent content creator to a content creator in a team?
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, like, you know, me and Amin were chatting months beforehand, and we came to an agreement. And I've always had a good relationship with Amin. Me and him are very, very, very good mates. You know, I'm always chatting him in the DMs. You're blocked from him.
Didn't take him long.
For God's sake. But no, well, me and Amin anyways have a good relationship. We have been for a long time, and yeah, he brought me to the team, and it was such a nice experience. At the same time, though, it was such a learning experience for me, because while I was in Settle, I realized that it was so, like, it was a Fortnite team, you know what I mean? So there was so many Fortnite content creators in there, man. And you know, like a lot of the Fortnite kids are just annoying, not gonna lie. So that, like, the discords for these teams are putrid, you know what I mean? It's just like kids talking shit in the general chat, and I don't know, like I felt like I couldn't really connect a whole lot while I was in the team to a lot of the other people. Like, a lot of the older lads were fine. Anyone over 18 I was vibing with, you know what I mean? But I couldn't really connect to a lot of the other creators in the team. And me and Amin were really the only kind of, I feel like I was chatting to him a lot, and he was my only guy really in the team that I was chatting to. So Then obviously, that merge happened with Fervana and all that shit went down and then and then he bailed and I bailed and that was that.
I was gonna ask, have you ever had an offer from 15 Kings to join?
Have you ever got an offer?
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I should say it.
You're under the fucking Bible, Chris. You don't lie on here, buddy.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Oh, you prick. That's fair enough. I know Saints were looking to get a new content creator back in February, there might have been a couple of knocks on doors.
There might have been a couple of knocks on doors, man, but Jesus Christ, that door would have been knocked down fair lively.
Bunch of scamming cunts. What was I going to say? Yeah, moving on from that. Fuck me. Okay. What was what do your family think of the whole Twitch stream as a career then?
Yeah, I mean, at the start, they weren't madly supportive of it. You know what I mean? It's such a new age thing, and being somebody like I was like what 23, 24 ish when I was like trying to do it on the side, and there's always like, oh yeah, when are you actually gonna get a real job? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that? And I was like, look, this is my passion. I have security. I live in a home right now, so I was like, I really want to pursue it. And yeah, I felt like it was only until I started being successful that I was actually getting a lot of support off my family. Because before then, it was very. I don't want to go like say negative, but it was just it wasn't like, oh yeah, Chris, I see you doing the streaming there, well done, blah blah blah. It was none of that, man. It was
I'm
all
the
like,
exact same at the moment, literally the exact same environment. It's like you don't really care that you're doing it, but at the same time, it's not like there's not like a load of encouragement, like, oh, we watch you, it's great.
No, 100%. No, I know. Yeah, I think that's the perfect word. There was no encouragement whatsoever. I got the odd word of encouragement every now and then, being like, oh yeah, whatever. But it was only until I got partnered and I started getting sponsorships and deals, and I feel like I was able to actually have physical success rather than the whole idea of me being happy pursuing something like this. At that point, it was only when they kind of accepted it. They were like, oh yeah, well done. But to be honest, man, I always knew from the start that it was going to be a kind of a solo journey. And even when I started like on that partnership journey, man, knowing I didn't have the support that I wanted from my family, it kind of pushed me even further, man. I was like, you know what, fucking, I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody. And it kind of pushed me more as a kind of a solo content creator and to kind of focus on myself a lot more.
I can't speak for you, obviously, but like my parents are from a different generation. They're like, they see me doing Twitch and they're like, oh, this guy's a prostitute. Like,
no, man, my fucking mom said the same thing. She said the same thing. The first time I described it to her, she was like, so what? You're on camera and you're getting paid for it. Like, she was like,
and your name's AbsoluteFilth.
It's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. She was like, what the hell's going on here? Do you know what I mean? So the amount of times I've had to explain the process of streaming to him, I'm not, dude, honestly, I face the same-ish generation regardless, but
it's filthy, man.
It's filthy, man. Absolutely filthy. It's absolutely filthy, man. You won't want to watch this. No. But yeah, so I had to explain it to her so many times, man. So many times.
You should smell my chair when I'm done, lad, Yeah, I'll never learn, to be fair. I can't get brand deals. What's the plan long term? You live in Cavan at the moment. What's the plan long term? Do you want to leave Cavan? Do you want to kind of go somewhere where opportunities are kind of more, like Dublin or Limerick, whatever?
Yeah. So I mean, from the get-go, man, when I started my streaming journey, it was in 2018 pretty much, and it was actually then when I met my girlfriend Aisling. So we did great connection straight away, and I feel like through the streaming, it was always my end goal just to make enough money, man, to move out with her and have a place alongside Teddy, my dog, and just to live, man, essentially. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for a high life or anything like that. I just want to make enough money doing streaming and doing content creation where I can actually just have a living for myself, have a family. That's literally it, man. I'm not looking for anything kind of mad. So that was a really big push for me to stream pretty much. That was my end goal.
I've seen Aisling once, and she's dressed up as a man. You wanna...
Yeah. So,
do you like transies? Do you? I'm joking. Calm down, boys. Calm down.
So we did a challenge on. We do kind of girlfriend streams every now and then. We're actually doing one in a week or two when she comes over. We do like challenges. So if we reach this many subs on stream, we'll do this. And when we reached, I think on stream, she spontaneously said something because people were asking me to do TikToks and chat, and I was like, feck off. This is the time where, I thought TikTok was cringy and shite. And I was like, yeah, get away from me. And then she was like, right, if somebody gives, I don't know if she said 20 subs or 50 subs or whatever, we'll do this TikTok. And yeah, some mad whores in the chat just went in and went ham. So we ended up doing the TikToks, and the one we wanted to do was a boyfriend, no, not boyfriend. Yeah, it's a boyfriend girlfriend TikTok, but you switch roles. So I was dressed up in like this little tight top and had a handbag in my hand, and she was dressed up as the man. So she was like permanent marker in the face, making the beard and stuff. And yeah, we made that TikTok. That was it.
I'm going to pop a picture up on the screen because I have it saved on my phone.
Oh, God.
No. I have it saved on my phone, man. It was amazing. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, do you think living in Cavan kind of, does it kind of like limit your opportunities for IRL stuff? Obviously, you're during COVID now, and I think you'll get a lot more offers when COVID's over and everyone's vaccinated and all that stuff. But do you feel like, if you got an offer in like London or Manchester to go over and live there full time and do like a content full time with even a team or just like independent wise, would you ever do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's kind of mad to think about, because I always envisioned myself kind of staying in Ireland and kind of staying here, and as I said, like moving out with herself or whatever. But at the same time, if an opportunity came like that, man, I feel like it'd be such I'd say a breath of fresh air, man, because I've always lived in the countryside, and I've always, like, I'm from Meath, and I lived like in the back arse of Meath, you know what I mean? And I'm moving to Cavan. I'm more in towns now in Cavan than I was in Meath, you know what I mean? So, but obviously, Cavan, I am very limited to where I am. Not a lot of people around, and even like a lot of my mates and content creators would be in Dublin anyway, so can't really get up to them very easily. So yeah, I feel like if the opportunity presented to go over to London, I'd strongly consider it. I wouldn't say I would 100% go with it, but I feel like it'd be a brand new opportunity, and it'd be a lot of fun to pursue doing something like that.
I thought the exact same as you. Like, I'd stay in Ireland for as long as I could or whatever like that. But when I saw Jacksepticeye left a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, it kind of opens your eyes to a lot of stuff. Like, this country isn't exactly stable in terms of like for people who do content or whatever. Like, you never get an opportunity to go on to the Late Show. You never get an opportunity to do this with this brand or whatever. Like,
Yeah, no.
So I see it like.
True. Yeah, no, it's so true, man. Like Ireland's very behind with the whole streaming and content creation scene. Very, very behind. It's why we have so little people at the top. You got like Call Me Kevin, RT Game, Jacksepticeye, Dahith and Ogla, all those lads. You know what I mean? They're at the top of the game, but we've so few. Because we're not promoted over here. Like, they go over to England, they go over to the US, man. They've so much more opportunity. So I feel like that's a very good point. Yeah, Ireland's definitely not the end goal. When you reach that high of a level, I feel like you're going to want to move abroad and do bigger things.
I was actually, good point, to be fair, because I remember we went to Gamerfest last year and they had the television crew and stuff like that. That show has gone absolutely like, it's just, you wouldn't watch
Shite.
it like, oh, it's terrible, it's so bad. And I actually liked people who were doing it at the time, but business is business. Like, you're not going to watch it if it's shit,
Yeah, I mean, like, at the same time, promotions is a big thing as well. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to promote it to the right audience. Like if that's on RTE, realistically, everyone's are going to be like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? So, the whole TV era, even though, it's great, like TV's fantastic, but now it's all internet based, man. It's all about, social media. It's all about YouTube. It's all about like online video content. So I feel like if you are doing that kind of stuff, like on TV, you have to promote it exceptionally well for it to get any sort of viewership.
I remember they were doing a segment where they streamed on Twitch for a couple of days. No one was watching. It was sad. Like, it's like, oh, come on. I feel bad for him. Like, I went in and I dropped him a follow. Thanks for the follow, Jake. I was yeah, well, that's my good Samaritan work done for the fucking year. That but it's funny you said that, because I remember I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was like, okay, I did something up in Limerick for a Gamer Fest. I was like, okay, I was on the television apparently, September, whatever. I'm not gonna say who it was, but they're like, if it interferes with the Telly Bingo, there's gonna be fucking war. The Telly Bingo, you fucking
Telly
freaks.
Bingo.
Jesus Christ. But even actually, because of that opportunity, I remember the same guys were working on a show called After School Hub. And they got in touch to get us on after Christmas. And I sent him a video and like, okay, we're gonna use this after Christmas. After Christmas, they went fucking bust. It's like, yeah, GG's, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, even in these, like television companies, and like these are essentially projects that somebody's thinking of doing and kind of testing the water, especially in the streaming scene. Like, as we were saying earlier, like, it's so new to Ireland that like anybody on their side of it is new to it. Like, if they got somebody on our end to do video production or stuff, we would know what we're doing. Whereas they're just hopping in and being like I remember in those interviews with RTE, man, they're like, so what's your favorite game? Like, what? Who asked that question, man? Who actually asked that question to a, you know, what's your favorite game? And what would you do if you were in this game? Haha, no one cares, love. Like, it's a bunch of shite. So they were stepping into completely new waters there. And it's like they were making it marketable to like old people or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not how you do it at all, man. Like whoever was on that side of it shouldn't be doing what they're doing. I don't know, man. It was just stupid.
It actually pisses me off because that means for the future when a person actually has a good idea for a TV show to do with streaming and content creation, they go to the RT and they'd be like, okay, we want to do this, that. And the guys in the RT be like, well, you saw this show, that went bust, that show went bust.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's going to have a negative impact on them getting involved with it in the future. You know, you're dead right, man. So it is frustrating that they've stepped in and they've kind of fucked it up. But I mean, at the same time, man, I don't think TV is something I really care about. Like if I was on RTE News or whatever, I wouldn't give a shite, man. But no, Tuberty or something like that, man. Now we're talking.
Yeah, there's like two things I watch on RT: Tommy Tiernan and Ryan Tuberty.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying, and those are the two shows I think the biggest viewership even on their whole channel. So at least you know you're going to get decent exposure there versus like, you know, having a small segment on RTE News. Like, you know, realistically, it's not that big of a deal.
Tommy Tiernan is the guy who actually, like, him and Joe Rogan were like the main two guys for this podcast. Like, okay, this is what I want to do, podcasting. You know, Tommy Tiernan, Joe Rogan, True Jory, those three guys. So whenever I'm watching Tommy Tiernan, I'm like, okay, what's he saying? How is he interacting with that person? How is he trying to get that answer out of that one? You know? Like, for example, I'm going to be an absolute cunt here, but like, you know, I asked you about like, you know, finances or whatever, and you said, okay, I was on job seekers allowance. People at home are like, okay, well, that was, you know, that's relatable. Like, that's a good question to ask, you know, stuff like that. Yeah. So.
No, for sure. I could definitely see that with you. And I feel like you said at the start there that, you know, you like just hopping in and asking questions. I feel like that's how Tommy does it, man. Like when I watch Tommy Tiernan doing interviews, man, it doesn't look like he doesn't have much train of thought behind it. He's just on the spot on the day and he's like, right, you know, how do you feel about this and that? You know what I mean? And I feel like you are replicating that style in an actual decent way. So I have to give you props on that, man.
Sure, bro. I want to ask you about how do you take your Twitch to the next level? Because I'm not going to be a cunt here, but your Twitch is kind of like, okay, this is a terrible word to use, but like kind of stagnating, because like since you got partner, you were getting like 120 viewers, 100 whatever, and you're kind of still around that area, right? How do you get from like, how do you break the boundary from going from that level to like, you know, to a Ninja or like a Nick Merckx, like that kind of level? How do you break that gap?
Yeah, so with the name change this year, I feel like I want to rock more events and more projects. Like when I got partnership and when I was on those high viewers, man, I was doing different events and I was doing different projects, and I feel like on Twitch, like there's a lot of people in that area where like they're gaming and they're just chatting or whatever, and that's the content the whole year round. And obviously, you know, naturally things are going to stagnate like that. So I feel like this year, alongside like the Legion events, I have my own stuff planned, like the Discord's Got Talent and stuff, and I want to do those events and really, like you're saying yourself there, bring the content up another level, because that's what a lot of creators end up doing, man. It's like you're either at the top of the game, like being a pro player, or you're an entertainer. And if you're an entertainer, man, you got to have events, you got to have fun projects. Like for example, Raj Patel, when he was doing what's it called on Twitch, what is it? Is it date or host or something? I forget the fucking name of it, but that literally shot him into stardom, because he started off the show where he was getting like one lad on and like 9 women. And at the very end, lover host, that's it, lover host. At the very end, they can choose if they want to go on a virtual date or if they get a host off the streamer. So it's such a fun concept, but it's events like that, man, that really shoot people up to the next level. That's what I want to do with like the likes of Discord's Got Talent, whether it be Fortnite Gladiators or something like that. It's making these events and making these magic moments on Twitch that will bring people in. So that's my plan. That's
amazing you said that, but I hope that you can kind of branch over to YouTube content. I do see what you're saying though with live content, like doing the show live. It's a different aspect for the people who are there, but trying to get the same feeling to a YouTube video. Because obviously if it's done live, you know, you're interacting with the chat and whatever, trying to get that exact same feeling, the same emotion over to a YouTube video is, I think, it's going to be the biggest challenge for you trying to grow as a content creator personally.
Yeah. Like obviously, you know, I'm still like a baby to the YouTube game essentially, and you know, I'm still even planning myself with Marman on doing like, you know, YouTube exclusive content. We're actually doing YouTube videos instead of like, here's a YouTube video of a Twitch stream. You get me? So I'm trying to find a balance right now of focusing on you know, making original YouTube content while making the events with the streams and stuff, and having a balance of seeing everything exactly how I want it to go and trying to grow each of them. That's kind of what I'm trying to work with at the moment.
Seeing a project and being able to execute that project is probably the most satisfying feeling content-wise. It's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it is, man. I remember after the first like Fortnite Frenzy event that I ran, when I had like all these pros in, and at the very end, like all the points were tallied up and everything's done, and I'm like, yeah, that one absolutely class. I love that feeling. It's good.
I was trying to plan something like an Irish Gogglebox thing, but like I feel like I'm gonna wait a few months because I feel like I'm just ripping off Jack, mate, which I am. Fuck it,
Yeah.
Times are tough for during COVID. I need the money, So that's just the type of content I want to do, like going forward, like an Irish Gogglebox. Like it's it'll do well. Like it's something that the audience can kind of get in touch with and stuff.
Yeah, no. I feel like obviously you were mentioning that before, and I feel like it is a very fun idea, and like there's so much market at the moment, like for Irish creators to kind of do things like that. Like the basic example for that would be like the Try channel, where the most basic standard videos, man, of Irish people try this, Irish people try that, man. Half the characters in aren't even that funny, and
Jamie,
you know what I mean? I know Jamie's a legend. Jamie's actually brilliant. I love Jamie. But no, to be fair, what I'm saying is that there's such basic content, but they brand this so well that Irish people do this, Irish people do that. All the Americans eat that shit up, man. So if you're to do something like Irish Gogglebots and execute it to perfection, that'll do very, very well. And, having like the whole Irish banter behind it and stuff is very, very marketable. So I feel like things like that will do very well.
James is actually a really good example of that, to be fair, because he goes out in the streets, he does these little...
Yeah.
That in itself is the type of content I'd love to be able to do, but I just can't at the moment, obviously because of COVID, and I live in the middle of a fucking farm, but...
Yeah. No. I love what he does with the whole, talking to people in public, and it takes balls as well, man. It really does, to just stop people and ask them random questions and shit. But it's what I'm saying. It's standout content like that, man, that really separates it from the rest. And I feel like it's good to kind of be innovative with that style, and just keep trying to make new ideas, or even like you were saying, like the way like with the Jack, mate, he's done the Gogglebox, to have a twist on it. You know what I mean? Do your own twist, have your own stamp on it, so that it's your own original content, but you have an inspiration from somewhere else.
I actually had an idea that I was going to do, but I just can't do it at the moment because obviously COVID and stuff. Sneak into the Late Show.
Sneak into the Late Show?
Yeah.
How the hell were you planning on doing that?
I don't know, but all I can see myself is trying to, crawl into an event and then just jumping down the stage. "'Tis me, sure I've arrived now, like I'm here, sure I might as well do a fucking interview, like."
Record the outro from a jail cell.
Yeah. Do
Jeez,
you like bank robbers, do you?
Man, I watched that. I definitely watched that, man. If you got that going, that'd be good.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Good.
What was I going to say? So with YouTube content, what's the plan moving forward then? Because you touched on there a second ago, you and Marman are going to do something with YouTube exclusively. What's the goal for this year with YouTube then? So
right now I'm at a point where I'm going back to focusing on content and events. Like I was saying, like every week or every 2 weeks or whatever I'm doing right now, I'm trying to do something new. So like I've been playing Fortnite solo for ages right now. So now I'm doing a kind of thing where I'm inviting other creators in for a duo session. We have a chat, we have a bit of crack, and that's going up to YouTube as well.
I got lost in the post, I think.
We'll get there, right? We'll get there.
Prick.
But yeah, what I'm trying to do is with the content across the board is I'm making more Twitch content that is going over to YouTube, but I still need to schedule like YouTube exclusive content, like I was saying. So whether that be 2 videos a week or whatever it needs to be, I'm really just working out a format right now that I can schedule in, that I'm able to do while doing the events, while doing the streams. So yeah, I'm just trying to juggle content right now and create as much as I can.
For me personally, I find making videos in the morning, trying to get them edited during the day and then stream is extremely fucking hard. Like for me, I just can't do it. Like,
I agree. It's what I was saying to you at the start when you were like, why weren't you uploading content? And I was like, man, editing a video for you to go live is just daunting, like, because you're in the editing zone and then you try to go live and it's hard to keep the positivity, and it's so draining. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to be creative and you're editing and you're looking at the same shit over and over again. So no, I agree, man. And I feel like like I said, having Marman on board definitely helps that. But I need to just work on putting out as much content as I can and letting Marman do the editing side of it, and hopefully we'll come to something.
Having so many experience like Marman beside you as well definitely will help you not only like grow on YouTube, but kind of like give you the room to do your own thing, and then just let Marman do what he wants to do. I think
exactly.
I think what you need to be able to do though is be able to say, okay, if you're on stream, have Marman in the stream and say, okay, Marman, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do Fortnite Gladiators pickaxe tournament. Can you get something started? Have that up there in a few days. That's you need to be doing like.
No, exactly. Me and Marman have a very good friendship, but we have a good business relationship as well. Every week I give him a plan of exactly what I want, what I'm doing. He has all the files there. He has access to all my channels. So he knows exactly what he's doing week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in hand. So we have a very, very good functioning relationship there. And he's fucking great at what he does. I mean, he's been in the YouTube game for a long time, and he has a very, very good comedy style that is similar to mine that I like. So it's very good having him on board.
I was talking to Marman at Gamerfest last year. He has an insane brain for content. Like he would literally like he come up with an idea and you'd be like, what the fuck? But in 2 years time, be like, what the fuck? Like that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I like as I said, he's had a very good career on YouTube, and he's done loads of different things, man. From Call of Duty to Fortnite to vlogging to eating challenges. Like he's literally done it all, man. He's had experience with a lot of different stuff, and I feel like when I was trying to find an editor, like I went through different phases where I was like asking people in my stream and asking some people on Twitter, and lads just send me a video with like a sound effect in it and like one clip in edit, and they were like, yeah, is that good? And I was like, no, like because I come from a professional background of editing where everything goes to a T, and I feel like I can't give my content to somebody who's going to make it so simplified that it becomes just blending in with every other shit video. And I'm like, I do not want that. So I feel like Marman was the only person could really have that professional edge and make it the style I exactly wanted to. So yeah, I'm really, really, really happy that he's doing the videos, and he's doing them really well.
What's Marman's perspective on that as well? Because I feel like if you're going from, because obviously Marman's a content creator himself, he'll obviously have aspirations of his own to do content full time. So to go from that to being an editor, I wonder what that's like for him, because like I can only give my experience, but like I do stuff for Genesis on the Ustream. I'm like, so I do some of his overlays, whatever I do, like whatever that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like at the same time, well, I'm doing this a lot now, aren't I? Like I don't have time to do my own stuff. So I'm just curious about like how Marman kind of handles that, like,
Yeah, no, well, like as I said, like, we have a friendship before a business, so we're very, very open in what we do. And if he ever feels like he can't do something, he's more than happy. Like he'd be more than happy to let me know to get his own content done. But at the same time, Marman's at a point right now where he took a break from content creation for a while, and he has aspirations to get back into it, and he wants to make videos, and he wants to make funny moments, and he wants to do shit like that. And obviously having me involved, I can give him a boost, and I can help him with content and get involved for his videos, which is what he wants. So we have a good kind of back and forth relationship, and I'm hoping that I can get involved in his content as well and help him out on his side. So it's not a one-sided relationship, if that makes sense. I feel like I'll always be there if he needs someone for a video or anything like that. He seems very happy with that.
I'm very honest with how I talk with stuff. I don't care. Like if I hurt your feelings, like I'm sorry, but like at the same time,
go for it.
I think with Marman, I was kind of disappointed with him with the content he was making, because he went from someone who was like I was looking up to, and I still do obviously, but like I was looking up to him and like how he's making content, how he kind of grew his channel and stuff. And then I was looking at his more recent videos there, like a couple of months back, and he was like the last couple of videos he was doing was like challenge videos on Fortnite, like you go to this place, you find the star, like that sort of stuff, like how to do the battle pass stuff. It's like, is this really something that you can have fun doing? And obviously I can't speak for him, but like,
Yeah, I mean, I was chatting to him about this as well, because obviously, like he has a personality, and he's like you're saying, man, like I feel like he can think of a video idea and he can execute it very well.
Exactly.
But with that Fortnite content, he's seen like a gap in the market for people to discover him with Fortnite. And I mean, some of those videos are crazy. He's like one has like 250,000 or something on these Fortnite challenges. So he's seen that gap in the market, and he had that eye. Obviously, at the same time, like you're saying, like if he was doing those all day, nobody would really know who Marman is. They just know he's the Fortnite guy. So I get what you're saying, in a sense that when he was doing that content, he was limiting his creativity for the sake of getting those views. So I understand where you're coming from. I don't think it's a bad take at all. I feel like it's a very, very good, honest take. But he wanted to do that to bring people in and to get viewers in. And he took a break afterwards. So unfortunately, he didn't execute the second part of that plan, I feel, in regards to like, making maybe Fortnite videos where he's actually in the video and doing shit like that instead of just having the tutorials. But I'm hoping, this year when he comes back into it, that he's ambitious about doing different products, and he gets involved in the actual putting his face on the camera, like you're saying. I agree in some way there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it just started like, it confused me, to be fair. Like, why is he doing this type of video where, you know, like if someone, so if a 5-year-old's look, or 5-year-old, Jesus Christ, I've been in the playground too long, me, like, you know. Anyway, you know, if a 10-year-old's like, okay, I need to do this battle pass challenge, I'm gonna look up how to do this, blah 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 in Fortnite. Look up the video, click in the video. Marman's going over for 2 minutes, like how you do this thing. Oh, grand job, and they're gone. You know, so it's a view, but like they're not subscribing, they're not staying along. You know.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. It's definitely like you were saying, like way earlier about like YouTube. It was a click through kind of process where you click in a video, you check it out. If there's the off chance somebody subscribes to you, but it was definitely played through a numbers game. You know what I mean? Like that video with 250,000. It's like you think about it. It's like you do that video and get a chance of people subscribing, or you do an IRL vlog that might get like 1,000, 2,000 views, and you're weighing up which would be better for possibly getting subscribers. But obviously, like you were saying there, you got to get your face on stuff and you got to get your personality through it as well. So I feel like it's similar in a way with the custom games, like we were talking about earlier. I feel like you're talking trade-offs, but obviously with the tutorials, it's less personified. You don't get to really meet the person. So there's two sides to it, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there before I offend people. So I'm just gonna move on.
No, what are we gonna say? Go on.
I was gonna say, like, how can you be happy making videos like that? Like, how can you be like truly happy? Like, if content creation is your goal, it's the way that you want. It's something you want to do. How can you be happy doing something like that? It's beyond me, really, to be honest. And that's honestly.
No. I get where you're coming from, man. I really do. Like for example, there's a guy that I know. He's only been on my stream a couple of times, but he does fashion shows, and yeah.
I think I know who you're on about.
he does fashion shows, man, and he gets a heaps of views off his PlayStation, man. But man, it's just the level of content is so low. It's like you're saying, like, how could you be bothered, man? Like, how could you possibly stream and like nobody gives a shit about you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, and obviously, you can bring that over to what my man was doing with the Fortnite, but at the same time, I think he was just trying to go a different avenue with the content and seeing if you could get more people in to see his vlogs and to see his shit with click-throughs. You know what I mean? And I think he's seen that, through that after taking a break, that he might want to do some other stuff as well. Like, I don't know where his head's at right now. I can't speak for him. I only know, like, from talking to him, but yeah, I get where you're coming from, though, man. I get where you're coming from.
I just said it is, like, I was just giving my honest opinion on stuff.
Go back to that. Course, man.
Go back to that tip. I'm not going to say his name, but going back to that guy that goes into your.
I won't say his name. Go on.
I remember I seen him on YouTube once, and he had like 2K subs at the times, like similar to me, like around that time, 2019. I went to his stream and he's doing fucking fashion, so I was like, all right, yeah, you're doing well, yeah. And he's getting literally 10-year-olds doing super chats on YouTube. Their mom's credit card. Like, there's just no way these are real people. Like, their mom's credit card, €50, €100. Notice me, be my friend.
I know. I feel like there's a clear line that you can see. You don't need to be Albert Einstein to see the line between people exploiting and people making content. I mean, you're going to see that with like the other side of it is like, the hot tub streams right now on Twitch is the complete meta for women to go out and do a hot tub stream. They get loads of views, loads of subs, all that shit. I feel like doing stuff like fashion shows and stuff is like the Fortnite version of that, in a way where you're there specifically for the views. People don't really care about you specifically, and there's a clear line there of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve.
There was actually a guy that I used to watch called Pun. His name was Pun, and he streamed on YouTube, and he did like he just did he was just playing arena solos, just lovely, getting a couple hundred viewers. It's like, yeah, grand, like you're doing good here. It's good to watch. He then goes into fashion shows. I'm like, oh no, you just ruined your entire career there, because you've just fucked yourself. Like, you're literally gonna get so many more viewers now. And then you're going to go from that to nothing again. And it's just going to be like, mentally, it's just not, you just won't be there anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I feel like some content, now obviously, we both have the same opinion on it, but I mean, just some content for me is just, it's just so far of a stretch in a shit direction that it's just like, it completely ruins the look of someone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I've seen lads, like you're saying, go to kind of fashion shows on Fortnite and stuff. And it's like, man, it's like, it's the biggest like claw for views ever that, I don't know. You want people to enjoy you as a content creator and your content, but at the same time, it's like, if people doing that, you think, oh, they obviously don't give a shit.
I don't know how the fuckers live with themselves, bro. I don't know how they live with themselves.
How they sleep at night.
Yeah, getting fucking 50 quid from little 5-year-olds. Like, how do they feel, man? Like, I'm just thinking of someone like Genesis as a kid, like Tyler. Like imagine Tyler getting into some fucker stream and they're like, they see this guy doing a fashion show. Oh my god, there's a chance I can get V-Bucks from this guy. Oh my god, today it's 50 on Genesis card. Genesis goes right and fucking smacks the cunt.
Yeah, no, it's a disgrace, man. If I ever see my kid in the future looking at shit like that, man, I'll put him for adoption.
I prefer him to watch fucking porn. Prefer him to watch porn, man. Even gay porn is better than that shit.
Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You might need to edit that one out.
This isn't Jamie J. Carr's podcast at all, pretty lad.
You might need to edit that one out.
Oh, Jesus.
God's sake, dude.
Yeah,
God's sake.
No brand deals. Love that. Drop from Gamer Store, you know. I wasn't, but yeah. Mutual terms. Right. Well, the last couple of questions is what's the dream? What's the dream long term? Like long term, not like 5 years, like 10 years time. Where do you see yourself with content and stuff?
So yeah, I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm getting into events, and I'm basically taking on a new journey. Like obviously we've done everything before. With the TheGaraShow, for me, it's like a fresh start. That's what I feel. So I want to branch out as much as I can with the YouTube. I want to do events. I like real life events as well. You know, I want to be involved, and yeah, I just want to make enough money, man, so I can literally move out with herself. You know what I mean? So in 10 years' time, if I have a small apartment with herself and we're just chilling, and I have enough true streaming revenue to actually, you know, pay for bills and food or whatever, man, I'm happy. That's literally it. That's my end goal.
I think it's actually a turning point for you though. Like the moment, like this is the point where you go from, you know, like it's just Zoom. You know, you're gone. Like this is the point now where it's like if you don't do it now, it's like I don't see it happening because you just need to fucking go now. You know. No,
100%. With the name change, man, it's a big step in the right direction, like professionally, and as I say, as you were saying earlier, like, you know, towards making it a bit more brand friendly and stuff like that. And I feel like going forward with that name now, with all these new projects, man, it's like this is the time to really rock it. Can't wait any longer.
And actually, I want to point this out as well because a lot of people from your content who'll come over to this podcast, they see you chatting to me. It's like, oh, I remember that guy. Where did he go for a while on your stream? So, basically, I was a little cunt, and I actually completely misjudged your character as well at the time. I completely just got it wrong. You were giving me honest advice, like I'm just giving, you know, advice to Marman, who's probably gonna watch this, just like honest advice, and I took it completely wrong. So I want to apologize for that straight up.
No, it's fine. Like you know, it's hard to judge someone from texting them, being real with you, man. I feel like if we were on a call, that probably wouldn't have happened at all. I would have been just like, you know, here, man, this is kind of. Obviously, you know, you reached out to me for advice. I think it was on something got to do with revenue or some shit like that. And I was talking to you about that. And then you were like, oh yeah, about what happened with the Gladiators event. For anybody out of context, basically Jake hopped in and didn't read the rules for one of our events, and we had to take him out, and there's a bit of whatever shit there. But yeah, so what happened then, obviously after that happened, then I went to DMs, and then Jake was like, oh, you know, didn't mean through that. And I was like, yeah, no bother. I was like, you know, blah, blah, trying to give advice. And then Jake was like, here, fuck off. and then so Jake disappeared for a bit. But no, I just feel like there's a miscommunication, man. Like I don't hold any grudges. I don't have time for any of that shit, man, to be honest. So you know, I feel like we squashed it well, and obviously we have you in for the Among Us sessions and all, and it's good crack. So I don't think there's need for apologies, man. It's just a bit of miscommunication, you know what I mean? It happens every now and then, so it's all G, like.
But I was fucking kicking myself though around that time. I was like, oh no. I knew exactly when I did it. I was like, okay, this is. I was a spastic, like. But I have this thing where I just have an outburst. I'm like, oh, is he threatening my fucking turf? Is he? Oh, fuck you, you know, like that sort of shit. Like I just get outbursts of fucking rage and emotion. Like it's just great. Yeah,
no. I mean, it happens sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, as I said, it was definitely a miscommunication. But I get you.
I knew when I started working with Genesis with Saints and stuff, I was like, okay, this could be an opportunity where I can kind of, you know, amend it a little bit. And then the Gamer Store thing came around. It's like, okay, well, I have another opportunity here. I was actually going to message you on the Irish Fortnite account when I got a hold of it, like, yo, Chris, Jake here, you know, how's it going? Yeah. You will, are you? Gonna go for a coffee there, you know? So. Yeah, well, I'm glad we fucking switched it because I can't be arsed with like having drowned with people these days. Man.
No, it's what I'm saying, man. Like the Irish community is too small, you know what I mean? Like fucking, you know, and at the same time, you know, it's not that many people who are going to be out there to support you. And I feel like in the Irish community, I want to go out and support as many lads as I can and get involved. And I know you're a nice lad in the community, and obviously you have a good relationship with Genesis. So, you know, we're naturally going to be in the same environment a lot of the time, man. So better off, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It. Like, well, I'm going to call it there. I think we went over pretty much everything that I kind of wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, the European Super League. Oil bastards. How's you feeling?
Jesus Christ. I mean, thank God it's over with now. But to be honest with you, man, like I was in Discord the day it happened with Murray, and Murray was like, "Yeah, get ready to answer questions on the Super League tonight." And I was like, man, everybody's gonna be shit talking in my chat. And the second I started the stream, man, it was like a press conference. I felt like I needed an agent on the side, man, to watch what I was saying or something. Every single person, Super League, Super League, Super League. For 2 days straight, man, it was just constant negativity in my chat, and I hate that. So it was frustrating answering all the questions and all. But yeah, glad it's all over with. Don't even want to talk about this shit anymore. I'm not gonna lie, man. Just happy it's done and dusted. I feel like with the league right now, I think some of the teams might take might be due a point deduction in some way, shape, or form due to just the lack of loyalty there in a way. Like, I'm not sure exactly under contracts what was breached and, you know, what legal bindings there are to this and that. But at the same time, you can't have teams who are, you know, in the Premier League mid-season accept a deal like that. You know what I mean? It's a bit it's a bit mad. So I feel like it's a lesson to a lot of the teams. Obviously, you're seeing some owners now. Like, I think it was the owner of United or and Juve were both resigned or something,
yeah,
or something like that. So you know, it's a big you know, how would you say, a big moment in football right now where, you know, they're realizing that, you know, it can't be completely money driven, and, you know, there is a lot of fan power behind it, and, you know, there needs some justice if someone comes along like that and tries to make it completely monetary. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what repercussions there are, if any, but I'm just happy it's all over with, man. Yeah.
Like, I'd say I'm a big football fan, you know, but if Liverpool lose, okay, it ruins my fucking day, but it doesn't ruin my weekend. That's kind of the analogy I go with. I'm good friends with Craig, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks back from the Untitled Agenda. His life is Liverpool. It is like, it's his job, it's his career, it's his life, right? So if Liverpool lose for, you know, on a day, it ruins his week afterwards. That's the analogy, you know? So when this was all happening for him, it was extremely hard for him, but even behind the scenes, like, it was just, I don't know, he was close to quitting it and all that, like, at that stage. So
yeah, this is the thing, like, you know, like, even with it goes across everything, man. Like with football, for example, using Craig as a great example there, that, you know, his livelihood basically depends on the team and what he supports. So that team goes under, man, he goes under. And it's the same with streaming, you know, like, if fucking Fortnite being a popular game, if Fortnite went under now, I'd be doing something completely else and I'd have to start over, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's more things attached to these type of events than everyone thinks, because, you know, especially now with online creation and shit like that, you know, you attach yourself to one specific thing and you're kind of dependent on that, like, you know, especially for people making a living off it, like Craig. So it is a big deal, but at the same time, it kind of makes you think, you know, like, it's good to have not a backup plan, but just across the board have different sides of creation that you can fall back on, which I feel like is very, very important.
The last thing I wanted to bring up, because I forgot to mention around the time we were talking about Settle.
Yeah.
When you joined Team Redirect. What was that entire form like? What was that team about, and what was it like at the time, and how did you see that going long term?
Yeah, so I at the time, I was getting a few offers off a few different teams, and with Redirect, there was a few different factors. So obviously it was a group of friends that I already had, so it was easy to go into. I knew going into there I was going to be the biggest streamer, because I believe I was partnered at the time. I think I was.
Yeah.
And if for me, the owner behind it, which was my friend, Rockside, at the time, he was in somewhat of a managerial role to me, where he was like trying to get me sponsorships and he was contacting people on my behalf. So I felt like it was natural for me to join the team and kind of let him kind of stretch out the whole business side of the streaming and work with that. And he got involved obviously with I think Camevo is the name of the brand, and a couple of others, and it was going really well. But it came to a point where I was heavily involved with the team and in regards to their process of bringing creators in, and we couldn't come to the same alignment, because I wanted to bring in like high quality people, and they were kind of happy bringing in, like, you know, smaller streamers, but I wanted people to match my level so that it could grow even further, and we just couldn't come to the same kind of terms. So I ended up leaving and moving on.
That's actually so similar to what happened with GamerStore myself, because I saw guys who were coming in, because you have people like Gibson Gaming. I don't know if you know, Gibson does Rocket League and stuff.
Yeah.
He was a private, which is like the lowest tier on the GamerStore thing. It's like, how is he private? Like, he's literally he was getting like around similar numbers to what you get on Twitch, and I was like, how is he a private? He's not even he's not even getting paid, man. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? So like, okay, he should be near the top if anything, because he's one of those bigger creators we have on the team. There wasn't enough big creators coming in. I presume they reached out to you probably. They probably reached out to people like, you know, who were kind of like, you know, up there, and they couldn't get him in. And I was like, okay, well, if that's where it's kind of gonna go, that can't really be a part. Like, it's just not gonna. I don't see any benefit in me joining. And I was just there for money, I guess, at the same time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it 6 months into the contract, gone.
Yeah.
So that's interesting you brought it up actually, because that was similar to me in Gamerstar, like.
Yeah, I feel like with these teams now, especially in the Irish scene, man, there is somewhat of a barrier to entry as well, because obviously, you know, you're thinking that you want to get bigger creators in and you want to really stretch out the brand and the team and whatnot. But at the same time, with content creation in Ireland, like in some way you are limited to who you can bring in and what you can do and how you can extend something. Obviously, at the same time, though, there's different levels to it of, you know, bringing in a lower tier streamer versus like a mid tier streamer. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like across the board, like with I wouldn't even call it the Legion's not really a team. It's more of a,
it's like a brand deal kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I feel like at the moment there's not any specific Irish kind of standout team in a way that's kind of making those leaps, if you want to call it. But I feel like there is definitely a gap in the market for somebody to come through and get those bigger creators in. But obviously, though, it requires investment, which is why I appreciate the Legion and Gamerstar what they're doing, though, because they're starting this whole trend of actually sponsoring streamers. So even though it may not appeal to everybody, at the same time, it's a staple in the whole esports scene in Ireland and content creation scene in Ireland, where people are actually getting, you know, involved in this on a business perspective, not just, you know, just the odd sponsorship deal.
When I was in Saints, actually, with Genesis, I was like, I kind of saw the insides and the outsides of like an esports org and how it was run.
Yeah.
And then I took over Irish Fortnite when I left Saints, and I was like, okay, what can I do with this? And I've been trying to think of ways I can kind of almost turn that into an esports team, kind of see how that, even just a page, but like trying to get people into that team, get people, you know, like involved in some way I can, try and get customs going, get people interested in the brand and stuff, and see the people who are kind of like running it and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to do with Irish Fortnite. It's just, it's so hard right now with the pandemic. Like you just can't do nothing like IRL stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's what I'm saying, man. Like it's very limiting, especially to yourself. Obviously, you know, you're on the YouTube side of it. It's easier for me. Obviously, I'm sitting and streaming at home and shit. But obviously, yeah, everybody's a bit limited at the moment for content. And I mean, hopefully, you know, later this year we'll be seeing somewhat of a stretch of fucking, you know, being able to go out and travel and shit, man. But it's not looking good at the moment, dude. So I do not know.
Fuck me, Hal Martin, baldy little cunt. Yeah. You know,
fuck's sake.
Yeah, you wouldn't say this in the RT anyway, you know, the fucking the sentiment we have, you know. So, well, I have. You're more politically correct than I am.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, well, Jack Guy goes saw it firsthand. I'm a bit of a... Anyway, never mind. So, yeah, that's going to leave the podcast. I appreciate everyone watching and listening. If you're listening to Spotify, iTunes, you're an absolute fucking legend, because I spend money on that, and you watching, you know, makes it helps out. So cheers. Yeah, Gara, I'll leave a few links in the description and stuff like that. Hopefully your crowd comes over and gets a bit more of a deeper insight to your life, you know?
Yeah, I know, of course. And I appreciate having me on, man. I really like the kind of honest chat. And as I said, the kind of questions coming up out of nowhere. And, you know, I can tell you're actually asking questions because you're interested as well. It's not just like, oh yeah, by the board, what's this, what's that. So I really appreciate the format you've done this in. Very good.
Let's go. Right, well, let's end recording. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.